Hello everyone, we're here today at Phoenix Raceway for race number 3 of the SuperStar Arca Cup Series. Right now, qualifying underway here at the Mile Racetrack in Phoenix, Arizona. And now Alex Anderson on top of the board for now, the 28.0151, excuse me. More gyros, same lap times. Ryan Sauer just at his fastest lap of the session. Right now, these gyros going for the Rogue Energy Full Award, sponsored by Rogue Energy. And now this is Ryan Sauer on the racetrack right here. Going to try to get a better lap time off of turn 4 he goes, and he does not improve on his second lap. Gyros saying your lap times right now. Samuel Hoff saying his lap right here off of turn 2. Crossing line he goes up to 6th place. Tim Clausen only set 1 lap here. He's going to be in the top 5 spot for now, but Ryan Sauer is still on pole position with 2 minutes left in the session. Jimmy Geikis on the racetrack now. Karan Sabosian, one of the faster drivers in the Superstar Arca League, setting his lap here. Messed up his first lap right at 28.987. Right now he's sitting in 44th place, which is something you don't want to be starting here in the heat races. Wow, what a lap for Karan Sabosian. That puts him on pole position for now with a minute and a half or so left. As what a lap time for Karan Sabosian, only driving the 27-second lap times here. Jimmy Geikis now on the racetrack. John Peterson on the racetrack, also trying to get those last few laps in here. 2 drivers have yet to qualify. Jimmy Geikis and John Peterson, the only 2. This is Geikis' first lap, got a bit loose off of turn 4. That's a pretty good lap time of 28.145. That puts him in 11th. Even though he made a little mistake, it seems like entering on the exit of turn 4. It still was quick. Off of turn 4 he goes. Will he improve on his lap time? No, he will not. John Peterson runs a 28.547. That puts him in 39th. He has 1 more lap to go to try to improve his lap time. Entering turn 3 and 4. Can he go quicker than the 28.544? Looks pretty good off of turn 3. Oh, he spins it right off of turn 4. He actually does improve his lap time, but it will be invalidated. That's going to be qualifying wrapped up as Karan Sabosian gets the pole position with a pretty good performance there. Half a tenth clear of the field. Will win the Rogue Energy Pole Award. Rogue Energy, are you ready to take your sim racing to the next level? Rogue Energy is the ultimate gaming energy drink, loaded with vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. Get laser-like focus, increased motivation, and longer endurance to excel on the track. Whether you're battling for the lead or perfecting your lap times, Rogue Energy gives you the edge you need. Use code REF at checkout for 10% off of your purchase. Don't just play, dominate with Rogue Energy. And Karan Sabosian did dominate that qualifying session right there. Pretty clear of the field with a 27.956 for him. Right now, heats are underway here at Phoenix. Heat number 1 will be Brock Morris, who won last season at Phoenix. He'll be starting first place. Heat number 1. Take a quick look at our grid for this first heat. And Brock Morris on pole position alongside him in Tim Clausen. Jimmy Geikis in third, Cameron Crackhead fourth, Nathan Johnson in fifth, Hunter Sr. in sixth, Isaiah Waltrus in seventh, Brian Marshall in eighth, Tyler Martin ninth, John Peterson 10th, Jordan Evans 11th, and Michael Malm rounding out our 12-car field for heat number 1. As pace car pulls off here. So AJ, what are you expecting for these heat races? Phoenix, not the easiest place to pass, but you can definitely make up some spots here in the start if you place your car in the right position.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest place to pass for sure. It's going to take a lot of... Well, I feel like we're not going to see a lot of aggression in the heat races for sure. It's just everyone trying to make it out of here, not want to go to the LCQ, so aggression is going to be high, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not for the top 5 or so, but maybe the rest of the field you see a little bit of aggression, not trying to get to the LCQ, but I think once these guys kind of spread out a little bit and know that they're pretty much guaranteed to make the main race, so they won't be too aggressive with each other. Brock Morris, at least the green, he has a pretty big head start over the rest of the field for now. They're not really bunched up too well. Going to the Geico research zone, and green flag is out. And away we go. Brock Morris, like I mentioned, with a great start. As bad start for Jimmy Geikis, I believe. Actually, no, it was Tim Clausen. He had a really bad start. Just, I guess, didn't get through the gears quite too smoothly. It's 20 laps for this first heat. Pretty long compared to some of the other races. One car losing it. That's Tyler Martin in the Ford machine. As they make it clean through lap 1 for now. Brock Morris leads lap 1. And Nathan Johnson got loose there.
Big time loose there. It looks like they're taking 7 from the heat race, so the rest are going to have to go to the LCQ.
So 5 of them go home. So right now Tim Clausen, who's starting in 2nd place, already down to 7th place. So he's going to get bumped from Tyler Martin there, going to get him sideways on the entry to turn 3 and 4. As here comes John Peterson now to the outside, is almost 3 wide here for around 9-8. So the dogleg they go. That is legal. Obviously, it is part of the racetrack.
With the aggression I expected trying to make this race for sure.
So there goes Tyler Martin around. 360. No, not able to do so as he hits the inside wall. He's going to be going to the LCQ unless something crazy happens in front of him.
Brock Morris still out front.
As most of single file throughout the field now here coming to lap 5. There's a smoke up ahead, but Jimmy Geikis, Cameron Craighead 2nd and 3rd. Trying to chase down our race leader, Brock Morris. Morris won this race last season, so he knows a thing or two about winning here at Phoenix. So he's definitely one to watch out for in the main event.
He was definitely one of the fastest ones in practice too, putting down some quick times. So he's going to be one to really contend here in the future.
Cameron Craighead looks inside of Jimmy Geikis for 2nd. Side by side through 1 and 2. Geikis gonna get a good run off of turn 2 there, and he's gonna stay ahead of Craighead for now. As everyone kind of just single file out. Kind of found their groove here. 6 laps into this one. We had 1 spin for Tyler Martin off of turn 2. Other than that, it's been pretty clean so far in this one.
A lot cleaner than I thought it would be for sure. See if Peterson can track down Clausen maybe for that transfer spot.
As Geikis hit the wall in entry there, that's going to allow Nathan Johnson to get his inside line. And Might allow Johnson to get up into that top 3 spot, which does improve his starting spot for the main event, which you never know what... I mean, track position is pretty important here at Phoenix. That's what we saw at least last season. And once you got the track position up front, you pretty much stayed up front for now. As lap traffic ahead, as Cameron Craig has to get around the lap traffic, as there goes Isaiah Walters, Isaiah Walters to the inside of Jimmy Geikis, as Hunter Sr. behind him. Low contact there off the turn 4 now. This is around the transfer spot. That was Tim Clausen. You might want to back off here and let these guys do their thing, not try to get involved in this one, as he has a pretty nice cushion between him and John Peterson for now. Peterson about 8 tenths back from Tim Clausen. These guys are really racing hard together. Lap traffic right in the wall there, right beside these guys. As now they single file back out. Geikis stays ahead of Walters for now. Senior and Clausen still remain in their same positions. But here comes Clausen to the inside of Senior, trying to make something happen, try to get a little bit of a bigger cushion between him and that transfer spot, and he will. He'll clear Senior into turn 3 or turn 1 to turn 2.
Big move there. Minus 60.
As they're 3 wide down through the dog leg there. This is all for 4th place, as Jimmy Geikis stays ahead for now, as they're side by side here for 5th. Tim Clausen, a little bit of a charge here late, may have saved his tires a little bit in these early few laps, and that's allowed him to catch back up. But what a run for Walters on the outside lane of Geikis. Trying to make the outside work here at Phoenix. Not something you see typically here at the new Phoenix. Looks like it's working pretty well for that 60 machine. Again, 3 abreast here through the dogleg.
If you're John Peterson, this is what you want to see. You're wanting to see a wreck in front of you to maybe sneak your way in here to the future. These guys extra racy ahead of him.
So guy gets a bit loose there off the corner. As now Clausen up to 5th, Walters up to 4th. As Geikis now moves down to 6th place here. There's still a long way to go here in this one. Coming to lap 14. Still about 7 laps to go.
Yeah, 7 laps to go. Anything can happen. These guys are definitely getting racy. You can see tire fall off. Could be a thing, even with this 20-lap race.
Yeah, the tires have fallen off around 8 tenths or so. So that's a pretty big fall off for only 14 laps. So the tire fall off is definitely a real concern here. As John Peterson lost a little bit of time last time by to these drivers up ahead. Now the gap's about a second between him in 7th place. But if there's some contact up here, just one little mistake, and John Peterson can definitely be back into this main event and not have to go to the LCQ. Most of the single file throughout the field, I think they've calmed down a little bit, knowing that they're pretty much locked into the main event, as long as they don't hit each other or make any mistakes. But right now, Brock Morris with a huge lead over Cameron Craighead, who's in 2nd, followed by Nathan Johnson in 3rd.
And 4th, Isaiah Walters, Tim Clausen in 5th. Some top 5 rundown there. As Jimmy Geikis, also Hunter Sr. locked in cars right now. Coming into 2 laps to go.
Clausen almost clipped the outside wall there. Don't want to do that here when you're pretty locked in here inside the top 5.
Yeah, he's going to try for that spot though against Isaiah Walters.
I mean, like I mentioned before, every spot's pretty valuable on the grid. I think it's about 3 grid spots. As in Walters in the outside wall.
Didn't seem to hurt him too bad though. He's still side by side.
As we're going to 2 laps to go, as Walsh just stays ahead for now. And Cameron Craighead getting caught by Nathan Johnson for second. So here comes Johnson now to the inside in the dog leg. Now he has the inside to turn 1 and 2. And they do anything with it here.
Definitely trying to make it work. A little loose there by Craighead. You can definitely see the tires are definitely wearing off here.
There's white flag in there this time by. Craighead clears it in the 1 and 2. It looks like that spot will remain the same. Out back here, Hunter Senior, Jimmy Geikus close together, but nothing happening too much as they keep it clean off of turn 2. For Brock Morris off of turn 4, he's going to win heat 1 and put on pretty much a clinic here. How you win here at Phoenix.
Wins by a mile, just no one could catch him.
He burns it down a little bit in the pit lane, but take a quick look at our Heat 1 results here before we go to Heat number 2. Brock Morris will pick up the win here. Cameron Craighead in second. Nathan Johnson in third. Isaiah Walters in fourth. Jimmy Geikus fifth. Hunter Senior sixth. And John Pearson actually moved up to seventh. Not sure.
Oh, we missed that one.
Mr. Michael Mulp 8th, Grant Marshall 9th, Jordan Evans 10th, and Tim Clausen 2 laps down.
Oh, wow.
Not sure exactly what happened to him. I thought he finished the race. We saw him off of turn 2 there, but anyways, we'll have to look back at that later. But Heat 2 underway in a moment, as right now Skylar Jones in first place, Samuel Hoff in second, Jared Skinner will be in third, Thomas Spencer fourth, Ruben Rodas will be fifth, Dan Reberark in sixth, Christopher Bush seventh, JJ Venezia in eighth, Timothy Presley ninth, Jason Rushing in 10th, Jake Ballman in 11th, Dave Wright rounding out the 12-car field for Heat number 2. We'll take a quick look at what happened to Tim Clausen later, but I thought everyone made it cleanly through those final few laps, but I guess not. He was 2 laps down there, so something must have happened with 2 laps to go. But anyways, Skylar Jones going to lead us to the green for Heat number 2, and away we go with a lot better looking start there than Heat number 1.
Only a lot better start there as they fan off into turn 1.
Hoff, who started second, got a clear for the race lead off of turn 2. And he does so down the back, has 1 car on the wall there. As Hoff takes the race lead into turn 3 and 4. Skinner side by side with Jones now. Can Skinner move himself up to second, as Jones has fallen down to second and may fall down the third here in lap number 2 if Skinner can clear. Looks like he will, as Jones falls down to third after starting on first place, as everyone else mostly single file throughout the field. Right now, the transfer spot is Dan Reberark in 7th. Timothy Presley behind him, and in front of him is Christopher Bush. As right now, the top 5 looking to pull away from the rest of the field for now, here in lap number 3, early on.
Definitely a lot cleaner than Heat number 1. A lot of these guys have just steadied into pace. We'll see how long that lasts, though, for that transfer spot. How aggressive can some of these guys back there get? Timothy Presley tried to make a big move there, just did not work out for him. Oh, got a spin.
Multiple wrecks there as
Multiple
Christopher
cars there.
Busch around. Damn Rubber Arc got hit hard in the outside wall. And a few others. I think Timothy Presley was involved there also off of turn 2. Take a look at that one on the replay. As these guys are side by side now here for 7th place as Presley goes in the 7th. Off of turn 2 there. Christopher Busch, the car in the blue right there. Behind him is the 13 of Dan Rubber Arc. Busch just got loose and Rubber Arc had nowhere to go.
There.
Now that really separates the top 5 from the rest of the field. So they're pretty much, they have a 2-second gap between him, JJ Venezia, and Ruben Rodas, 5th to 6th. But the battle for 7th is heating up as Timothy Presley, Jason Rushing, and Jake Ballman still pretty close together. Right now, Timothy Presley trying to pull away from the guys behind. Side by side behind him for 8th. This is not helping these guys' cases if they want to make the main event going side by side. They got to work together to try to get up to Timothy Presley for now. It looks like they will do that right here.
Yeah, Timothy Presley, no mistakes, and he's sailing away. For right now, it's Jake Ballman trying to catch him.
Yeah, these guys still have plenty of laps to do so. They have about 12 more laps to go. So a lot of time still left in this one, more than halfway left. So anything can still happen here as guys up front, Samuel Hoff is kind of pulled away from the rest of the field. Jared Skinner and Skylar Jones still relatively close together here for second.
Yeah, Sam Hoff is pulling away. We saw this in Heat 1 with Brock Morris. Same story in Heat number 2. As we continue to watch the battle for a second.
As here comes Skylar Jones to the top side of Jared Skinner. Watch for the crossover move here. Maybe no, Jones going to stay up top though. Skinner going to use the dogleg to his advantage here. Down in the 1 and 2 now. As right behind him is Thomas Spencer, not too far behind, about 5 car lengths or so. These guys side by side for second.
Definitely racing hard there for second. Timothy Presley and Jake Ballman are battling right now for that transfer spot.
As Jake Ballman has caught back up to Timothy Presley. Presley does have some right front damage due to hitting the outside wall with that incident with Christopher Busch and Dem Rubber Arc.
Will affect him a little bit, but not too much as he tries to pull away again. See if Ballman can get back up to him.
Yeah, I'm sure it's affecting him somewhat. Not significantly, but definitely somewhat here. And I mean, aero is somewhat important here at Phoenix. You're still going probably around 170 or 160 into the corners, so definitely aero does play somewhat of a factor at this 1 mile racetrack, but definitely not a killer, I would say. But we'll see if he can hang on for these next 7.5 laps over Lake Malman.
Malman's just eyeing it though. He wants it, and he's gonna try to get it right there. Very close.
As Presley cut through the dog leg, Ballman not so much. Almost made contact there, possibly. But these guys just kind of nose to tail for now. But here comes Ballman to the inside. Does he have enough speed? Oh, pressing the outside wall. Slows him down just enough as Ballman takes the 7th place on the entry. but he may have overshot the corner. So here comes Presley to the inside. He's going to clear now, back up to 7th.
Oh, yeah. For the transfer spot. I don't think this is done yet, Bowman. Still got 5 more laps to go for him.
Yeah, still 5 more laps to go here. As now the picture, yeah, is Jason Russian. These two get together, they make some contact here. Jason Russian definitely could play a factor in this one, as he's just kind of lurking there about a second or so back from this battle for the transfer spot in 7th. Rusty now starting to pull away a little bit from Ballman, and he has almost made a mistake in the turn 1 there.
Almost a huge mistake there, almost in the wall. Good save for sure. That tire wear off at all as well. I mean, so I feel like that plays a huge factor in that.
Yeah, who said the tires are best? As now the battle for the 2nd place spot is really heating up. It's a 4-car battle pretty much, nose to tail, with a few car lengths in between these guys, coming to 2 laps to go. Can Jared Skinner get up to Skylar Jones? As Jones did clear Skinner there for 2nd. Missed that one, but Skinner gonna try to fight back here for 2nd, as Thomas Minter and Ruben Rodas not too far behind there in 4th and 5th. Samuel Hoff is pretty much gone. Same thing we saw from Brock Morris. And heat number 1 is pretty much a repeat of heat number 1 for heat number 2 here. As
Does clean air play a factor in that?
yeah, definitely could. He's often not starting pole position for heat number 2, but he just got the race lead early on and just pulled away from the rest of the field. Looks like they're mostly single file off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Entering turn 3 for now. Skinner put the bumper to the back of Jones. No, he won't. You guys are going to finish in the same order that they started the final lap on, but about for 7th. Looks like Presley will clear easily over Ballman, and he will pick up the transfer spot here in 7th place as Samuel Hoff wins heat number 2. As in the meantime, let's take a quick look at our finishing results here for heat number 2 as Samuel Hoff picks up that win. Not the right one, but there is heat number 2 results. Samuel Hoff in first, Skylar Jones 2nd, Jared Skinner 3rd, Thomas Pitcher 4th, Ruben Rodas 5th, JJ Venezia in 6th, Timothy Presley in 7th. That's the 7 that will transfer to the main event. Blake Mallman in 8th, Jason Rushing 9th, Dan Weberark in 10th, Dave Wright 11th, and Christopher Bush in 12th, who was involved in that first incident there down the back straightaway. As right now, grading up for heat number 3 is underway. On first place for heat number 3 will be Alex Anderson in first, Travis Bieber in 2nd, Mark Cofield in 8th, KH Donahue in 9th, or 4th, excuse me. Jacob Wilson in 5th, Jeremiah Holt in 6th, Kyle Herlinski in 7th, Nathan Pryor in 8th, Albert Lopez 9th, Travis Sheed in 10th, Dan Adams 11th, and Brian Cook in 12th. As Mark Cofield pit starting here, he's supposed to start in the 3rd, but he's starting from the pits. He missed the grid. That's going to be cost him big time. I see that pretty good qualifying spot. I think that would put him in 11th or 12th qualifying, and now he's gonna have to work his way through and see if he can make his way into the main event after starting in pit lane.
And green flag here in heat number 3.
Anderson clears in the turn 1 and 2. It's Cofield finally off the pit lane here from his pit stall, but they're side by side for third behind him. It's Travis Bieber and Karl Linsky in third and fourth. Jeremiah Holt behind these guys also. Cage Donahue. Still side by side through most of the field. It's Travis Sheed, Nathan Fryer there on the inside. They have him, Jeremiah Holt, and Albert Lopez. Most of the single files are still side by side. Travis Sheed and Nathan Fryer in 8th and 9th. Way up the racetrack goes Travis Sheed. As overshot turn 3 and 4 big time. It's going to allow Fryer to clear easily for 8th place. As now they single file out. But update on Mark Cofield. You can see him right there in the background. He's not too far behind from 7th. Albert Lopez to Mark Cofield around 2 seconds. So he does have time to make up that gap. He had a good qualifying spot. So we know he's pretty quick, at least the short run speed is. We'll see if he can make up that time here, but Jacob Wilson and Kyle Linsky was side by side for second, and as Wilson stays up in second.
I think we're starting to see the same story here from Heat 1 and Heat 2. Anderson just pulling away from this pack little by little. But clean air must play some kind of factor here at Phoenix.
I think it'd be really important here. Clean air, track position, talked about earlier, is super important. We haven't really seen a lot of movement throughout the field in these heat races. Granted, they've only been 20 laps, but 20 laps is definitely enough time at most racetracks to make up some spots. We haven't really seen many drivers make up more than 2 spots after the first 2 laps of these restarts, or these initial starts. So once these guys kind of just settle in, that's kind of the spot they're going to be at for most of the heat. Unless, obviously, they make contact with each other. But now Linsky to the inside of Wilson. Not quite there entering turn 1 and 2. Still mostly single file throughout the most of the field here on lap 7. The top 5 have really pulled away from 6th place of Jeremiah Holt, but the stranger spot right there, Albert Lopez behind him, as Nathan Fryer and Travis Sheed swap spots there as Fryer and Sheed both overdrive turn 3 and 4. As they're going to lose a little bit of time to Albert Lopez up ahead. So Lopez gets loose. That's for the transfer spot. Here comes Nathan Fryer now. He's going to try to take advantage of that one. As Albert Lopez makes a mistake here. Down through the dogleg, clipped it the wrong way and got himself loose.
That transfer spot. Lopez. Oh, look at a Fryer. Cut the dogleg there.
Oh, he's going to sideswipe him.
Wow. The side swipe there.
As crossover move here from Albert Lopez.
A little loose there off of... Oh, hit the wall there by Lopez.
Yeah, he clipped the outside wall, slowed him down big time, as now Nathan Fryer has a pretty big gap to Albert Lopez now. Out back in front, Alex Anderson pretty dominant so far in this heat. 5/10 of a gap between him and Jacob Wilson, but still a top 5 pull away from most of the rest of the field.
Yeah, kind of a single file heat race here. No big stories leading into this one.
And nothing too different that we've seen from Heat 1, 2, and 3. They've pretty much been the same heat over and over played again. Just a few little battles throughout the most of the field, but nothing too much for these race leaders. Because once they get the race lead, they're pretty much gone. But as soon as I say that, Jacob Wilson reeling in Alex Harrison here. We still got 8 laps to go in this heat race here. It's definitely a good play part in the battle for the race lead in a moment, but Kyle Herlinski looking to the inside of Wilson for now.
This is definitely interesting that they're catching the leader. This is the first time we've seen this in a heat race.
Now, these guys battling a little bit as Herlinski overshoots turn 3. Got some dirty air, I think, from Jacob Wilson. It's allowing Anderson now pull away. Just slightly a little bit, not much, about a tenth or so of a gap between him and Wilson for now. Now we're coming to 5 laps to go. Now the battle for the transfer spots heating up. There's Nathan Fryer, Travis Sheed, Mark Cofield now in the picture. The man who's starting to pit lane. He's worked his way through the field. Can he make the A main here, the main event? Right now he's sitting in 9th place, about half a second back from the transfer spots. Oh, he overshot turn 1 a little bit there. Hard on the brakes as he almost got into Travis Sheed's back bumper. They go through the dog leg once again, trying to make up as much spots as much time as they can. As Nathan Fryer just right in front of him, right there. He right now currently holds the transfer spot over these 2 drivers behind him. As he overshoots turn 3 and 4, let's allow Cofield to maybe get both of them there. As Cofield up to 8th. Now to the inside of Fryer here for the transfer spot with 3 to go here at Phoenix. There's contact made. Fryer losing it on the inside of turn 1. He saves it for now. Cofield now to the back bumper into the inside of Nathan Fryer. Coming to 2 laps to go. Fryer clipped the outside wall on the inside of the back straightaway. And now Cofield is in the main event for now. Can he hold on for these next 2 laps? As Fryer right on the back bumper again.
Looked like he tried to use the bumper there, and Cofield right into the dog leg there to avoid it.
Cofield overdrove turn 1 there a little bit, maybe worried from Nathan Fryer behind, maybe using the bumper once again. But here we go, coming to the white flag this time by. Can Cofield hold on for another mile on the racetrack?
The track. Oh. Will Nathan Fryer get him here? He's not afraid to use that bumper, that's for sure.
So he got into him right there. He moved
There
up the
it is.
racetrack. As here comes Fryer now. Door banging down the back straightaway. Travis Sheed right behind. They make more contact.
Oh.
Watch out for that blue and white
Travis
car.
Sneed, Travis Sneed was trying to. He was really trying to make his way there. He's still trying.
And coming across the line, it's gonna be Nathan Fryer gets it by.
Wow. What a battle there toward the end.
As wow, they were door banging each other down the back straightaway, ain't until 1 and 2. But Nathan Fryer gets a transfer spot, but Alex Anderson wins heat number 3. We take a quick little 20-second break. We'll be right back here at Phoenix. As we live here at Phoenix, gonna take a quick look at our starting grid for heat number 4 in our final heat race before the LCQ. Gonna be Blake McClung in first. In second is gonna be Daniel Molnix. In third will be Donnie Kite. And fourth will be Michael James. Cliff Adams will be fifth. Greg Martin will be sixth. Brad Delp will be seventh. Alan Kennedy will be eighth. Alex McQueen ninth. Zachary Tyler in 10th. And Dylan Lamp will round out our 11 car field here tonight for the final heat race of the evening before we get to the LCQ. As green flag is out, we're underway here at Phoenix for the final time for the heat races. As fading out through the Dogleg Lake, usual we've seen. As big run for Daniel Molnix, currently our points leader here in the SuperStar Arca Cup series. Go to the outside of Donnie Kite there. Trying to slot himself up in the second, not able to do so quite just yet. Blake McClung still in the race lead here, and he's going to lead lap 1. There's one car on the wall. I think it's Dylan Lamp there. Hard on the outside wall. He's going to lose a ton of positions. He's going to fall back all the way down to 10th place on the field. But back out in front, you got Blake McClung and Donnie Kite now in second, as Daniel Molnix is in third. So here's Kite now to the race lead here on Blake McClung. That's the dog like he goes to the inside. Can he make the move stick? 3, 1, and 2 up the racetrack. He goes just a little bit. As they're still alongside each other here for first place.
Something we're not used to here. We're seeing a battle for the lead. No pull-aways yet, 4 laps into this. So it is a little darker here at the track, so I wonder if that plays a big role in more grip out there.
Yeah, definitely cooler temperatures could make it easier to pass, as Donnie Kite now clears for first, and yes, he will. And I think that might be our first pass to the race lead after lap number 2.
I have to agree with you there. I'm pretty sure it was.
As Daniel Molnix moves his way up past Blake McClung, as McClung down now in the third. As we contact in the back there, Alan Kennedy in the wall, and Alex McQueen spinning out through the inside of the dog leg. We missed that one. We'll take a quick look at that. See what happened there. 3 and 4 off the exit turn 4. Alan Kennedy just, I guess he just didn't realize Alex McQueen was there. I mean, he just turned down right into the 95. Pretty much, I guess, didn't realize he was there, I guess. I mean, that's all I can really think about.
What I was thinking as well, just...
Unless he was mad at Alex McQueen for doing something or something like that, but, I mean, that seems pretty... I mean, I guess he might have thought Alex McQueen might have used a dog leg there. That's something typically that happens at Phoenix. You know, you assume the person on the inside is going to use a dog leg as a shortcut, but sometimes they don't. You know, sometimes the dog leg burns up a little bit of tires. Might be a reason why you don't use it. Right now, Daniel Molnix and Donnie Kite pulling away from the rest of the field here, 8 laps into this one. As right now, the transfer spot, Zachary Tyler and Dylan Lamp. Lamp got into the wall early on this one, so he may have some aero damage. You can kind of see his right front's a little crinkled up, but not too bad there. That 55 machine.
Molnix staying right on the back bumper at night here, or a kite here, sorry. Something we haven't seen yet, so.
Yeah, we'll see if he'll He's able to make a move on Donnie Kite up ahead, as these two have pulled away from the rest of the field, so they can battle a little bit and not lose too much time or lose a position if they choose to do so. As we're coming up to halfway in this one here. There goes Molnix to the inside of Donnie Kite now. Halfway through this one. He had a good run off for turn 4. He's got to take advantage of that one. And can he clear for the race lead?
They're side by side. Coming down the backstretch, still side by side there. Molnix definitely holding tight there on the bottom.
Yeah, looking really strong for Daniel Molnix, that bottom groove. His Kite not cutting the dog leg. That could be his saving grace there. He gets a big momentum down the front straightaway. He's able to stay alongside Molnix for now. But really, the inside and outside looking really even so far in this one.
Tight. The high side groove worked out for him there. To the lead he goes.
Yeah,
I think that might be the first pass we see for the lead after halfway in the heat races as well.
Yeah, at least the first time they were side by side easily for the race lead, but that allowed Blake McClung to catch back up here as he slowly reeled these guys in as they were side by side for about 3 or 4 laps there.
Molnix isn't letting him go though. He might be trying to fight for this win still.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive he is for this one. I don't think he's going to be super overly aggressive, but you never really know what the mindset of some of these drivers are at some points in these races.
Really right there. Looks like Dylan Lamp back there. He's got a pretty comfortable gap over 8th place Zachary Tyler for the transfer spot. As I say that, Molnix has reeled back in Kite. What's his plan here if he wants to win this year?
Yeah, will he make a move here? 5 laps to go. As right now, this is pretty much what goes about on the racetrack for first place right now. Molnix still on the back bumper of Donnie Kite. Coming at 3 to go this time by. Now 2.5. And Molnix, as he's looking to the top side, doing something different, trying to get around Donnie Kite. Try to get a good run off for turn 2. Oh, almost clipped the outside wall. He saves it though, as it didn't really help him too much down the back straightaway. As coming to 2 laps to go. Can anyone get around Donnie Kite here in the next 2 miles?
Definitely the closest battle we've seen in every heat race, so it's been interesting as the track cools down, the racier it gets.
Yeah, it's only gonna get cooler and cooler throughout the main event too. As there goes Molnix on the inside, he's not quite there. The left rear quarter panel of Donnie Kite. Kite through 1 and 2. Can you hold off for the Heat 4 win? As off of turn 2 here, Molnick's going to try to get a good run off the exit. Doesn't look like he really has too much of a run. Through 3 and 4, Molnick's going to send it just a little bit, but no contact made. As Donnie Kite off of turn 4, he's going to pick up the Heat 4 win here at Phoenix. As we'll take a quick look at our finishing results here for heat number 4 before we get to the LCQ. As we just saw, Donnie Kite picks up the Heat 4 win, Daniel Molnick in second, Blake McClung in third, Cliff Adams fourth, Michael James fifth, Greg Moore in sixth, Dylan Lamp seventh, Zachary Tyler in eighth, Alex McQueen ninth, Alan Kennedy round out the top 10, and Brad Delph did not set a lap here. So go to LCQ as rating up for the LCQ right now. It's going to be 30 lap race here at Phoenix, and we'll go through our starting grid here as Michael Mullen going to lead us to the green as Jake Ballman in second, Travis Sheed in third, Zachary Tyler in fourth, Brian Marshall in fifth, Jason Rushing in sixth, Mark Cofield seventh, Alex McQueen in eighth, Jordan Evans in ninth, Dan Reborg in 10th, Albert Lopez in 11th, Alan Kennedy 12th, Tim Clausen 13th, Dave Wright 14th, Dan Adams 15th, Brad Delph in 16th, 17th will be Tyler Martin, 18th will be Christopher Bush, and Brian Cook to round out our 18-car field here tonight. And I believe 5 of these drivers transfer to the main event. The rest will go home.
There's actually 6 that go to the main event.
6 will go to the main event.
I just found that out from the admins themselves. So. Michael Mom, lead us to the green.
There's a big contact there. That's Zachary Tyler around. Alex McQueen around 2, and also a bunch of other drivers involved. Albert Lopez, Jason Rushing, Dan Adams all involved there. Let's take a look at that one when we can. Right now for the race lead, Michael Malm and Jake Ballman. Ballman clears the race lead here off of turn 4. Take a quick look at that replay there on the wreck in turn 1 and 2. Zachary Tyler just got ran through from the 78 of Jason Rushing, as that was a big calamity behind.
I'm not sure what that was all about. Just like you said, just ran through it. That caused a big wreck behind him for sure.
I guess just misjudged his braking point or something. There's a 3 wide now here, around 5th, 6th, 7th. Who even knows at this point? This will be pretty much down to 6th place. There's still 3 wide here for 3rd. Actually, this is for 3rd place. Let's go. Contact. Cofield making contact. Up. Oh, gotten 3 wheels there. As these guys do know, they're all locked in if they keep it straight. I would think, right? Doesn't look like they're acting like it though. But big contact there. Big damage for Mark Cofield now in the 97. It is the top 6 that make it in, but they have a huge gap to Christopher Bush, who's in 7th place. Almost 3 seconds between them and Jordan Evans, who's in 6th place right now. So the top 6 pretty much locked in as long as they don't wreck each other. But I mean, right now they're looking pretty feisty here still on lap 5. Jake Ballman pulling away from the rest of the field here. 1 second between him and Travis Sheed. As most is single out throughout the whole field. Michael Field up the third now. Michael Mom, who started in first place in the Constellation LCQ, right now falling back to fourth. As like I mentioned before, the top 6 pretty much pulled away from the rest of the field. And top 6 are locked into the main event. So as long as they don't wreck each other, if something catastrophic happens, as long as they can survive the next 23 laps, they're pretty much looking good for this one.
Yeah, that big wreck definitely helped a lot of the guys up front who maybe got through it or on the verge of getting past. So.
Still side by side here for second now. Vancouver moves himself up into the top 2 spot. Now he's going to try to chase down a race leader of Jake Ballman up ahead.
Tokyo, he's got that head of steam after only missing that heat race by 1 spot.
Also side by side behind there, Michael Malm and Brian Marshall. Marshall moves himself up to 4th, and Malm falls down to 5th. No spot lost for him.
I think the 7th, I could get out what you said earlier. Over Tyler Martin at 8th, and Brian Cook in 9th. While these drivers hang out, don't wreck, will be good to make it. Easier said than done when you're a race car driver. You want to go for all you can.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to leave anything out on the table, but right now they're pretty much, as long as they're on cruise control here. Yeah, I mentioned Christopher Busch, who's in 7th place, is way far back, 3 seconds between him and Jordan Evans, who's in 6th. So right now, looking pretty good for now. As Christopher Busch is even damaged though, pretty damaged actually on the front end of his car. So unless one of these guys wreck each other, almost coming to halfway soon.
Field has caught up to Bowman now. Yeah, I think it's a battle for the lead. Cofield to the lead.
Cofield will clear for the race lead. He moves himself up in first here, halfway through this one. And he's looking to pull away now from the rest of the field. He's looking really quick here in that 97 machine. He was on 3 wheels on lap, I think 2 or 3 of this one. And somehow he managed to make his way back up to the race lead here at Phoenix.
He is flying. Like I said, with a big head full of steam after not making it from that heat race, he's going to do everything he can to at least make it now. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he qualified pretty good tonight. He was supposed to start third in his heat race, but like we mentioned before, he missed the grid at a start in pit lane. Like even after starting in the pit lane, after 20 laps, he was almost in the main event. But some contact between him, Nathan Fryer, and Travis Sheed. Unfortunately, he just wasn't the victor of that one.
But he's the victor now as he is pulling away from his bag. Traffic may come into play here in the consolation race.
Definitely, it's a pretty long race here, 30 laps. Definitely could be some traffic. There's traffic right ahead. Some damaged race cars. Might be Jason rushing, I believe, in the 78. He's gonna pull off right there. Actually, be courteous to the leaders.
Looks like the next car ahead there is Zachary Tyler. Battle there. Marshall's gonna clear.
Small right on the back bumper of Brian Marshall here for fourth. We'll see if he makes a move in these next 10 laps, as this is the longest race we've seen all night long so far.
Side by side for fourth. Yeah, as Marshall uses that high side run off there. And that's going to leave room for Jordan Evans. He's into the mix. 3-car battle here. Here.
Oh, contact!
Big contact.
Little body slam on the outside wall from Jordan Evans to Michael Malm. As Jordan Evans might want to get as far as he can from Michael Malm right now. It looks like no issues will happen there through 3 and 4, but
it didn't look intentional though. Just looked like a loose spot for him. That's about all it took.
they're still side by side as ooh. Here goes Jordan Evans on the outside wall. Michael Baum not going to take advantage of that one. To the inside he goes for spit.
Michael Malm once more is he's going back for fourth.
As Mark Cofield has a huge gap over the rest of the field. 2 seconds between him and Jake Ballman. Travis Sheed in third right now. They're going to be battling here for second in a moment. Because actually they are side by side right now for second. Travis Sheed and Jake Ballman. With the 5 laps to go this time by. Ballman stays ahead of Sheed for now. She doesn't look like he's going to be attacking anymore. Brian Marshall has caught back up to Jordan Evans, and Michael Ballman has taken 4th place away. Top traffic up ahead of Zachary Tyler.
Trying to get out. Go high.
Travis Sheen now trying to fight back for Jake Ballman. Right there is traffic getting in the way, not allowing these guys to get a good exit. Off of turn 4. Mike Crowfield will take the white flag here. A dominating performance here. Took the lead around halfway and has not even looked back even slightly. That's through 1 and 2, excuse me. Down the back straight he goes. Mark Crowfield going to win the LCQ here tonight at Phoenix.
Good run for him. Definitely a much needed win, even if it was just a consolation race.
Because with our other results, it's actually no one really too close together. Tyler Martin and Darren Weber are pretty close together late in this one, but that's for 7th. Let's take a quick look at our final results here before we go to the main event. And Mark Crowfield, after 30 laps, wins here tonight. The LCQ, Blake Ballman or Jake Ballman in 2nd. Travis Sheed in 3rd. Michael Ballman 4th. Jordan Evans 5th. Brian Marshall in 6th. Tyler Martin 7th. Dan Redberg 8th. Dan Adams 9th. Zachary Tyler in 10th. Christopher Bush 11th. Jason Russian 12th. Brian Cook 13th. 14th Alex McQueen. 15th Albert Lopez. Alan Kennedy 16th. Sam Clausen 17th. Dave Wright 18th. Brad Delph 19th. So we take a quick break during this warm-up session and we'll be right back for the main event here at Phoenix. We're back here live at Phoenix Raceway. Let's take a quick look at our starting grid here for the main event. RabbitHolePodcast.com 200 is gridding right now underway. And pole position, Connor Zabosian in first, Ryan Sauer in second. Brock Morris third, Samuel Hoff fourth. Alex Anderson fifth, Donnie Kite in sixth. Cameron Craighead seventh, Skylar Jones in eighth. Jacob Wilson ninth, and Daniel Mullen round out the top 10 here tonight at Phoenix.
Starting 11th will be Nathan Johnson. Starting 12th will be Jared Skinner. 13th, Kyle Herletsky. Blake McClung in 14th. And starting 15th will be Isaiah Watrous, and then Thomas Spencer starting 16th tonight. Starting 17th will be Travis Beaver, and then Cliff Adams starting next to him. Jimmy Geikus in 19th, and Ruben Rodas starting 20th.
And then 21st, you got KH Donahue, and 22nd, Michael James. Hunter Sr. 23rd, JJ Venezia 24th. Jeremiah Holt 25th, Craig Martin 26th. John Peterson 27th, Timothy Presley 28th. Nathan Fryer 29th, and Dylan Lamp in 30th.
Starting 31st, your winner of the Constellation race, Mark Cofield. Jake Ballman 32nd. 33rd, Travis Steve and Michael Mall starting 34th. Jordan Evans 35th, and Ryan Marshall rounds out your field 36th.
Yep, 36 car field here tonight for the RabbitHolePodcast.com 200. That's going to be 200 laps here at Phoenix Raceway, 200 miles in total. It's going to be a pretty long one of the longest races of the season, most likely, time-wise. And let's take a quick look at our weather here for tonight's race. Going into sunset, 7:03 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, or Pacific Coast time, not really on the Pacific Coast, but 85 degrees in the air and 89-degree track temp, so it's going to get cooler throughout the night, and might see some more grip in these cars and on the racetrack here, which could lead to some more battling throughout the race and throughout the traffic, throughout the field overall. So we'll see what happens here. These heat races have been pretty decent. We'll see how aggressive these guys are in these first few laps of 200 here tonight.
Green flag is about to fly. Sam Hoff is going to lead him.
And green flag is out, and away we go. Connor Zabosian through a dogleg to clear Tim Hoff in second.
Zabosian off to a good lead there.
It's clean so far through half a lap. Now there's to go through 3 and 4. Side by side for Samuel Hoff and Brock Morris, as Samuel Hoff keeps it up to second, as clean through lap 1 as lap 2 underway now. It's fading out throughout most of the field here. Side by side here for around that 8th place spot. This Nathan Johnson and Daniel Molnix currently are points leader here in season number 2. Side by side for second now. Brock Morris good. Clear Samuel Hoff for second. Entering turn 1 and 2. Brock Morris, like we mentioned before, won last season here at Phoenix. You go back to back here, the mile racetrack in the desert.
Yeah, Brock's looked strong all day. Won the heat race, was top in practice, qualified really good. Now he's just gotta put it all into one.
There's a bit of a car on the apron there. Not sure who that was. There's slow Jeremiah Holt slow. Can't pick him up. He's right there. Not sure what happened to him. But he's very slow coming down pit lane right now. But anyways,
saw him turn onto the apron there. Just not sure what happened to cause that.
as we're now still green so far here in lap 7. Sebosian still leads. Brock Morris in second, Hoff in third. As caution flag flies, we got Jordan Evans, Dylan Lamp around in the back, I believe. Jordan Evans backed into the wall and the entry of 3.
Saying that's not what you want to see.
Pretty massive pile up there entering turn 3. It all started right there as Jordan Evans just totally took out the 23 of Michael James there and absolutely pile drove him. Not sure exactly what happened there for Jordan Evans. I mean, I guess he just missed his braking point possibly.
It looked like just missed the breaking point.
Very deep on the brakes though. I mean, obviously it probably wasn't intentional, I wouldn't say that, but just very, very deep on the brakes there for Jordan Evans, and obviously major damage for him, Dylan Lamp, and Michael James there in that 23 machine. It's first caution here.
Maybe you didn't expect that 23 to brake as much. Probably a lot of tire saving going on. Multiple factors could go into that, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. But first caution here on lap 8.
Long way to go in this one as we got a yellow on lap 8.
We'll see when we go back green here. It sounds like Connor Sebosian might be shutting off the engine there from the sounds of it. So fuel could be a question here in this one, as we'll get to a quick fuel number here if I can get one quick. It'll be around 50 to 60, give or take. Going green this time by Sebosian, Morris, your front row.
The second row is Sam Hoff and Donnie Kite. Rounding out the top 10 is Alex Anderson, or top 5.
It's all bunched up. These drivers already nose to tail, no room given at all. As
A
through
little
the guy
bumps.
goes resource zone.
Back to green here at Phoenix.
Where they all go and all lean so far. One driver on the outside wall, I think that's Kyle Linsky pulling back quickly. It looks like it is. As they're 4 wide off the exit there at Phoenix, now 3 wide, now 2 wide. As that could have been really sketchy down off the exit of turn 2, so 3 wide behind these guys. That's Greg Martin right there and Karolinsky up top. And Travis Bieber in the middle there. But back up front, Brock Morris going to be side by side with Connor Zabosian for the race lead. Morris goes to the top side here at Phoenix and see if it works for him.
We've seen that high side work a couple times with runoffs. So we'll see what happens.
Oh,
here.
contact in the back. Molnix, I believe we're almost making some contact there with Nathan Johnson. As he got really loose off of turn 2 right there. As Morris and Zabosian still side by side. I think Morris might be able to clear in turn 1. Not quite yet, as they're still alongside each other.
He's making that high side work, though, definitely. And there it goes. Down the back stretch, she's going to take it.
And Morris takes the race lead for the first time tonight. As now comes Samuel Hoff now trying to attack Connor Zabosian the same way Brock Morris did. As he goes the inside line. Gonna see if it works out for him.
Side by side down the back stretch there. Zabosian has the advantage on the high side.
Yeah, we've seen like the high side seem a little bit more effective than the inside line here at Phoenix tonight so far, but maybe we see some difference here once the temperature starts to drop. The inside has a little bit more grip. The outside just gets such a good run off the exit of the corners, but Zabosian the wall. Skylar Jones, Jacob Wilson right here, 7th and 8th side by side. There's a single file out through most of the field already. Brock Morris still leads Connor Zabosian second as everyone behind him single filing out. Just trying to get some laps logged in here. Like we mentioned before, it's a pretty long race tonight. 200 laps here at Phoenix. 200 miles, obviously, here at Phoenix also. One of the longer races of the season overall, time-wise and mile-wise even.
Definitely looked slow and steady wins the race. The calmer you are, the better for you, especially for these tires that wear off so quick. Track position does mean a lot though, Talon, so.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the heat races. It's pretty much after the first 15 laps or 10 laps or so of the heat races, that's pretty much you were locked in the same position you were after that. But looks like Zabosian looked to the outside of Morris now. He might have a battle for the race lead, and looks like we will. Zabosian with a good run off of turn 2.
Here. As we're heading out of 4 into the dog leg, Zabosian was really trying to get that high side moving.
Looks like
And
he's still there.
there.
Might be able to make the move here in 1 and 2. Side by side up the racetrack. Morris goes. The Zabosian, they cleared.
Took a page out of Morris's book there as he saw the high side being used by Morris. He's like, I'll do it right back to you.
Yeah, pretty much a little deja vu action there. Just seen that before. as Bozien takes his race lead back, as Morris didn't really put up too big of a fight. I think he noticed earlier on in the race he doesn't want to fight it too hard, burn up his stuff, and may cause an incident. But maybe later on in the race he might pinch Bozien up the racetrack a little bit more, maybe, or vice versa.
Really nice and smooth now here. Looks like from the top 10 back, we are single file.
As there goes Hoff now to the inside. Morris trying to make his way up the second. One person we have not seen is Ryan Sauer. He's in 25th. Not sure if he got an EWL penalty. I can check real quick. He was supposed to start in second. He qualified second. But I cannot remember if he did get a penalty from a previous race. Yeah, it looks like he has. He did get a penalty, so he got an EOL from a previous incident, so that's why he did not start in second place on the initial start. So I was a little late there, but he right now is currently in the 24th spot. He did qualify second, so he does have some good speed, but it kind of just shows you how hard it is to make moves here. Phoenix is the second fastest in qualifying, still in 24th place after 25 laps. Ruben Rodas in 15th place, running around. Cliff Adams ahead of him. But most of the field, most of the single file already here in this one. As the top four pulled away from the rest of the field, Alex Anderson in fourth on the caboose of this one. Cameron Craig in fifth place, doing a good job right there. Connie Kite having a good run in sixth place so far for now. As here comes Skylar Jones to the inside of Jacob Wilson for seventh.
Makes it stick. No battle there. I think a lot of these guys are just gonna save their stuff. If someone wants to pass, let them pass. It's too early to.
There's moments now.
Car in the wall there.
And well, I think that was Cameron Craighead there. At 48 machine up ahead. As caution flag flies, we got wrecking the back Brian Marshall around off for turn 2. You're on lap 30. There's another car in front of him. Travis Sheed, Nathan Fryer involved. Three cars involved there, possibly more. Let's get ahead, up in the head. There, just Brian Marshall right there off for turn. Who's got tied from Michael James there in the rear ends. Oh, Nathan Fryer!
Oh, Nathan Fryer upside down.
Wow. And a shower of sparks. The shower sheet avoids that one, but what a hit for him. As everyone else down pit lane, not too surprising here as Ruben Roa stays out. Every single other driver comes down pit lane for fresh Goodyear tires.
Really expect some fuel stops here too. As you said, 55 to 60 laps of fuel, definitely gonna at least see 3 to 4 stops, depending on yellows.
As Bosian Morris go out. As Cage Donahue, really fuel only for him. He actually, I think he had an EOL. And same with Samuel Hoff, EOL for him. Being in the pit lane. So those two game penalties, not something you want here at a track like Phoenix.
Definitely not with the passing. Not much passing has happened at all. These two are going to have a long way to come up through the field.
Yeah, it's better to have it. It's better to have it happen early on than later. But it's definitely a crushing feeling right there. It's going green this time, I believe. Yes, we are. As you know, pace car is delayed. One more time.
Three laps in here. It's been pretty smooth so far.
Yeah, pretty smooth. The race, a lot greener than I thought it was going to be a little bit, but we'll see how this pays off here.
Rodas is going to lead us back to green. Connor Zabozny on the outside.
Ruben Rodas staying out on those older tires. We'll see how it plays out here.
Green flag back in the air here at Phoenix. Rambunctious restart there as they spread through the field.
Re-wide now for the race lead. Ruben Rodas split middle as Zabozny gets around to the outside. Morris goes to the inside. As now Zabozny has the race lead down the back straightaway here on the restart. Caution flag flies as Travis Sheet around and a bunch of other drivers with major damage, I believe. A few black flags given on that restart there, but Travis Sheet, one of the drivers around already on turn one. Just got into the back bumper of someone, as he also got clipped from someone also. Not see the numbers on those cars.
Did not see the number with the car on the apron, but definitely came down into him there.
There was a 22 of Kyler Herlinski there, and he got into the...
That looked like a bit of net code there. I don't think they touched.
Yeah, maybe not. He got into Cage Donahue on the... Actually, I think he may have just checked up big time, knowing that Herlinski was right there, not running around into him, maybe. Which caused him to spin. But he also, as he spun out under caution there, once again.
Not sure what that was about.
Not a good day for Travis Sheet, as he's already racking up the incident points, and incident points do matter. As you get a certain amount, you do get a black flag. Again, a lot of these drivers fuel saving right now. You can hear it. They're shutting off their engines. Trying to conserve as much fuel as they can. Also, one thing to note for this race, this is the last race we'll see with these legacy Arca cars. Next week we'll be going to the new Arca cars just released by iRacing a week or two ago at Pocono, so that should be an interesting one there for race 4. So switching, they're completely different. They handle completely different from each other. They look completely different too.
Some say they handle a lot better than these Arca cars that they're racing right now. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think the new ones are a little bit tighter, a little bit more snug, so that fits your driving style. Could definitely help you. These ones are a little bit more loose in the rear end, I would say. But some drivers like it more loose, some drivers like a little bit more tight. It also depends on what track you're going to also. Short track, intermediate, super speedway, obviously. But we'll see how that change affects the rest of the season, as it's a pretty big change, probably the biggest change we've seen so far in SuperStar Arca. But as green flag is back out here at Phoenix on lap 38, Carlos Bozian with another great rocket restart off the turn 4. Brock Morrison, Alex Anderson is second and third. Donnie Kite up to 4th. Side by side behind him, Skylar Jones and Cameron Craig, as the lights are turning on here at the Phoenix Raceway. The sun is continuing to set down even more in the Phoenix desert. As Cameron Craig side by side with Skylar Jones.
Mercedosian with the lead there. Brock Morris up to second. No surprise there.
He's pretty much been top 3 all night long, and he let a few lapses down. He's looking to the race lead, maybe. Not quite there. He was peeking his nose to the inside of Carlos Bozian. Was not alongside him enough to make the move into turn 3 and 4. Side by side for 6th place, Skylar Jones and Jacob Wilson, and Nathan Johnson behind them too also. Johnson and Wilson side by side here for 8th place. Wilson on the outside, Johnson on the inside. Oh, some contact there on the outside wall. Wilson has some sparks flying off his rear end right there off the turn number 2. But stay single file as Johnson gets by Wilson here. As after that restart round 5 or so laps, a single file out here at Phoenix. Way up the racetrack goes JJ Venezia as Thomas Spencer to his inside. Spencer gets up to 14th place now over Venezia. Isabella, Craig Martin, Timothy Presley side by side. Is there a single file out here down the back straightaway? There's one car on the wall, 2 cars on the wall actually. Johnson and Wilson scraped the outside wall off of turn 4. Not sure if they came together there off of turn 4, but they were battling earlier on, but they both hit the outside wall, lost a little bit of time. Wilson really lost the most time out of those two.
Looks like Connor Sebastian's looking to pull away from Brock Morris a little bit because he's got a half-second lead right now.
Yeah, gap's now opened up.
Gotta think maybe Brock's just riding right now. A lot of these guys are probably just riding, waiting. It's kind of a waiting game on these long races.
Yeah, last time they pitted was lap 6. Oh, as soon as you see that caution flag
No
flies
flag.
as John Peterson around in the back there. He slowed down the dog leg. As yeah, he spun through the dog leg. That was him in the 94 there of Travis Beavers. Looks like Peterson just lost it on his own. It's been like one of the first times we've seen someone lose it off the turn 4. Usually we see that off of turn 2. A lot of drivers sideways off of turn 2, but not so much off of turn 4. Pearson around there.
That was definitely a little weird there. Not used to that for sure. Just over. It's like a little bit of overdrive there. Just lost it.
Yeah, but will anyone coming out of pit lane here? Ruben Rodas, who stayed out, fell all the way back down to 20th, so I'm expecting him coming out of pit lane.
A lot of fakes there. Little bump there from Brock Morris into Sebastian.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe he's messing around there, but
That's what I'm thinking.
anyways, coming lap, we're gonna restart with lap 51. Coming to 51 at least, but we'll see how it plays out fuel-wise, because I think, from what we were told, it was 50 to 60 laps on fuel. If these guys pit right now, it would be around a 2-stop race, give or take.
I was thinking more of a 3 to 4 stop race, depending. I know it just depends on cautions. With 50 to 60 laps, so definitely 200 lap race.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of the lower end on lap 50, I guess, but yeah, it'd be at least a 2-stop race from here on out.
Are off on the pace car. Keeping an eye on Samuel Hoff from earlier after his EOL penalty for speeding in the pits. He's up to 18th right now. So keep an eye on him. He's trying to make his way up through the field.
Still trying to make his way back up the front here after getting that speed penalty early on in this one. Better to have it happen early than later. They can have time to make up for those mistakes.
We're going to go back green here with Connor Sebastian, Brock Morris, Alex Anderson, and Donnie Kite. Sebastian, what a good start. Brock Morris, not so much.
As now,
Brock's he's gonna use that high side to his advantage and get it back to the second.
and it stays in second. Anderson wants his inside, but didn't have enough momentum to clear him as Cameron Craig and Donnie Kite side by side behind also for 4th and 5th. As the sun has really set here, the lights have really came on here. There's also the new iRacing lighting update, a little darker too, but Alex Anderson hits the outside wall there off of turn 2. Sparks fly as Donnie Kite clears for 4th over Cameron Craighead. As caution flag flies once again, Just give me Geica slow off of turn number 1, or turn number 4, excuse me.
Another self-spin off 4.
I mean, that's the second time back-to-back we've seen that. I mean, usually, like I mentioned before, it's usually off of turn 2 that we see a lot of these drivers getting loose. There might be the track conditions changing up just a little bit, more rubber getting put down, places that these drivers aren't expecting. But interesting that happen like that. We'll take a quick break here on lap 54, and we'll be right back here with RabbitHolePodcast.com 200 here at Phoenix Raceway.
And welcome back to Phoenix Under the Lights as we are 56 laps in of 200. Connor Symbosi and Brock Morris about to lead us back to the green flag.
We'll see if Morris can get a good restart here, but it looks like Symbosi takes off well, and he's got to clear Morris already before we get to the line. As here comes Anderson now to the inside of Brock Morris. He might be able to do something here and move himself back up into the second place spot. Down into 1 and 2, side by side for second. Can Morris hang up on the outside?
And Morris is going to clear him there. We saw that last time as well, where Morris was able to hang high on that outside line. Seems like a lot of grip up there.
Yeah, you're able to pitch the driver down on the bottom there, not let him move up the racetrack and get some good momentum. And you're basically able to carry that momentum easily past them. As they lost their momentum. Side by side here for 4th and 5th. Donnie Kite's caution flag flies once again. And a wreck in the back. Michael Malm, I believe, slow. Yes, he is. And a few other, Mark Cofield, Travis Cheat involved possibly. Take a quick look at that. So we've got 3 back-to-back cautions. There's a big contact ahead. Not sure that was.
Big contact there.
There's a that's Mark Cofield right there, up and over, up on 2 wheels there.
I was keeping an eye on Cofield too, definitely. Might not be a day ender, but
a big contact up ahead. I think that was Cage Donahue, maybe? That was a 33 of Jake Ballman. Right there getting lifted on 2 wheels. Not sure the number, who the car was behind him.
We've seen that a couple times here tonight now, where going into a turn, drivers just braking points just not adding up or something, where it's causing these wrecks.
Yeah, just the different braking points I think cause those kind of wrecks. 'Cause everyone has, even if it's just a few inches, that few inches at 160 miles per hour makes a pretty big difference, and that's all it takes really to make a big wreck like that one happen. 5, 6, 7 cars involved there, and some cars two-wheeling, three-wheeling it up there. Not a recipe for a clean race car, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I feel like we're not done seeing wrecks like that. Only being 60 laps in, so definitely drivers figuring out braking points here, so it seems like. Connor Thebosian still leading here as Brock Morris, Alex Anderson, Donnie Kite, and Cameron Craighead will round out the top 5. Not much change in that top 5 there, talent.
Yeah, these past 3 cautions, I mean, it's pretty much in the same. I think maybe Donnie Kite and Cameron Craig have flopped positions a few times, maybe, but nothing really much else happening in the top 5. It's mostly been the mid-pack, and even Samuel Hoff, he hasn't really made up too many spots either. He's still in that 18th spot since we last checked.
Definitely seems a little stuck right now with these cautions. If we get some green flag laps in, we'll see if he can make up some more ground. As he was a front runner early here tonight.
Brock Morris and Connor Zebosian once again will be on the front row here, and Zebosian will lead us to the green for probably the 5th or 6th time tonight. Zebosian with another great start here at Phoenix. Good clear by Anderson. Still deja vu once again here for Brock Morris, side by side for second. Anderson on the bottom, Morris up top. But Morris got clear on the entry to turn number 1 and 2. As now, here comes Donnie Kite to the outside, gonna look for that 3rd place spot on Alex Anderson.
Kite gonna try to use that high side to his advantage. We've seen that done a couple times. Can he make it work?
Still side by side off of turn 4. Anderson bolts to down to the dog leg there, try to cut some time off. He's not able to clear Donnie Kite entering the 1 and 2 quite yet. This is Kite's chance to get himself up in the top 3 spot.
I think they touched there, but maybe not.
Might have been some slight contact on the exit there.
They're still side by side coming out of floor. I think cutting the dog leg is really helping Anderson there.
Yeah, it did help Anderson there as he's now able to get in front of Donnie Kite for 3rd. As the top 5, top 6, top 7 of single file out, Nathan Johnson in that 7th place spot is behind them. Skylar Jones and Blake McClung side by side for 8th. McClung on the inside, Jones up top. So still side by side for 8th place. Skylar Jones on the top side, get a clear. Blake McClung as Timothy Presley behind the most on the outside wall there, as Jared Skinner and Thomas Mincher now side by side for this 12th place spot. With Samuel Hoff not too far behind. Got a penalty early on. He's up to 16th place. Hasn't really made up too many spots in the last few laps. It just shows how hard it is to pass here and how important track position is.
Timothy Presley, being where he is, has really impressed me, as he was one of the ones that finished 7th and barely made it on from one of the heat races.
Yeah, inside
Heat
the top
race
10.
number
doing
2,
really
I
good.
do believe. Heat race number 2, he started 7th, or he started 9th and finished 7th, so very impressive that he's running up front, top 10.
Yeah, I think that kind of just shows you how important track is. There's a 3 wide Timberhoff up top. Berlinski on the bottom. And Craig Martin in the middle. Getting squeezed pretty good. As now they double file back off of turn 2. As that could have been disastrous right there. As
like you said, disaster for sure. 3 wide at Phoenix never really works out, I feel like.
yeah, and Craig Martin was about to be squeezed in the middle like a hamburger on a bun right there from Seymour and Karolinski. But it works out off of turn 2 as Hoff now moves himself up in the 15th, but slowly but surely trying to make his way to the field. But back up to the race lead, Sebosian doing his thing, trying to pull away from Brock Morris. We saw him gap Morris about half a second before we had the 3 back-to-back cautions. We'll see how long this green flag run lasts, but right now these guys have been out on this fuel, on these tires for about 40 laps here. They pitted around lap 20 on the first caution there, or second caution, excuse me, lap 20. And they haven't pitted since, so...
Thinking between lap 70 right now and lap 80, we might see some takers. What are you thinking?
Possibly we could. I mean, we'll see how far they can actually stretch on fuel. Like we were told before in the pre-race, it was about 50 to 60 laps. So I mean, we'll see how much they can stretch it. But it's gonna be a 2-stopper anyway. We have to pay at least 2 more times after this one. But if someone can stretch it to lap 100, which will be, I think, pretty much impossible actually. But if some of those drivers maybe topped off on fuel the last few cautions that we had, they could maybe stretch it to lap 100 and make this a 2-stop race also. Maybe even a 1-stop race if they save a little bit of fuel. That's if we go green the whole way, though.
Yeah, and the way this race is played out, I don't see us going green the whole way, but anything can happen.
Definitely could have a green flag pit stop, though. We've had some pretty long green flag runs. We've about 20 to 25 lap green flag runs. Just a few self spins here and there, a little bit of contact here and there. Causes those to happen. Right now, the top few drivers kind of single filing out, as in the back here around the mid-pack spot around 12th place. See Samuel Laughlin's the inside. Jose Walters for 13.
Definitely moving up more and more from that EOL penalty he had. We could see him as late in the going as a contender. 3 wide behind him.
3 wide again.
And they're bumping, they're banging.
There's a 3 wide entering turn 3 and 4 now. And that's Thomas Spencer, Jacob Wilson out on the inside in 14. As that's Karolinski up top once again. As side by side behind them also. Got JJ Venezia, Cliff Adams, Hunter Sr. around this pack right here.
3 wide somehow works out again. I'm not sure how many more times we'll see that talent before we see it not work out.
Yeah, I mean, especially off these the exits of these corners. That's really where it's sketchy. You know, entry you can maybe make 3 wide dog leg. The front stretch and the back stretch you can make it 3 wide, but the exits of the corners where you kind of narrow it back up, that's where it gets really sketchy and contact can easily happen, and especially in the mid pack could cause a big wreck.
Definitely where we've seen a lot of those 3 wides is come out of the exit, so a good battle is going on back here. Just cars all over the track trying to make it work. And Sam Hoff has cracked his way back into the top 10, it looks like.
Yeah, works himself up to, actually it's 11 as caution flag flies as Cliff Adams around and off of turn 4, I believe he was slow at least. Actually, Thomas Spencer slow also. That's around one of the drivers that we were looking at for most of that run there.
Yeah, we turned off the camera for a minute and something happened.
It was Thomas Spencer in the 03 of Cliff Adams as they make contact. As ooh,
Another one of the
Venezia.
breaking point deal again. It looked like.
I was a little later in the corner. Actually, it was a checkup issue up ahead.
Oh, checkout issue. Okay.
So it looks like Jacob Wilson and Isaiah Walters may have made some contact there. Actually happened up ahead. So it was kind of just a accordion effect there. Berlinski and Walters made contact, I believe, as almost made contact. I just kind of just stepped up the inside line and around they go. Accordion effect there is everyone coming down pit lane here on lap 78.
So just a little racing incident there. Like I said, back down pit road. Do we see any 2-tire stops, or do we just see 4 tires and fuel?
I would assume just 4 tires and fuel. I mean, 2 tires here this early in the run will be really, really aggressive move there. Really risky too.
Expect it from maybe some of the back runners that are trying to get track position and trying to gamble off these cautions a little bit, maybe. And Sebastian gets off pit road.
It looks like looking at the timings, everyone took 4 tires and a full tank of fuel there. So nothing too surprising for that one. As we were working to lap 80, as we take a quick minute break, and we'll be right back here for RebHoleBroadcast.com 200 here at Phoenix Raceway.
And welcome back to Phoenix. As Connor Sebastian and Brock Morris will show your front row. Lap 80 in the books as pit stops have just happened. We're about to go green flag racing again.
And about to go back green the 1-2 like we've had all night long. As Sebastian with a great restart here. Got to clear it down into the dog leg by Anderson and Morris side by side once again. Can Anderson finally get around Morris here on the inside line on these restarts with his fresher tires? Bit loose there, those cold tires. Yeah, Blake There's a bunch of cars in the
big
wall.
wreck in the back as well.
Massive wreck as cars flipping and flying through the air as we had multiple wrecks as Cliff Adams flipped over. That's a massive wreck. Jared Skinnervall, Isaiah Walters. And I just talked about it. It's the cold tires at night. Not a good recipe right there for grip.
I had a very strange feeling there coming out of that turn. I saw them all get loose with them cold tires. Definitely not a good thing.
Even get it from this point of view here. Let's see. Turn to exit.
Yeah.
Oh, hard hit for Nathan Johnson.
There by St. Hoff.
Wow. That was a massive hit for Nathan Johnson.
Very massive hit, though.
That's going to take a lot of gyros out of this one. Looks like they just both got loose. And Sam Hoff makes it through. Wow.
It looked like contact at first by Sam Hoff, but looking at it from that angle, I think it's both got loose.
Massive overcorrect there, and he went from 100-something miles per hour to 0 in an instant. Luckily, this isn't real life.
Luckily.
As man.
Wow, what a hard hit.
And
then upside down there by the 03.
Yeah, Cliff Adams also hit the bump. Cameron Craig had hit the wall. Pretty much did the same thing, but
Yeah, that's who we saw first, and then kind of just went on from there as everyone else did the same thing.
as he also, I think he may have a broken tire, maybe. No, it doesn't look like he does. So he's gonna stay out here, even with that significant damage. But that takes out a lot of drivers there. I think that takes out everyone down to 17th, and behind has some sort of damage. It seems like here. So the top 17, I wouldn't say they're completely undamaged, but they're not significantly damaged, like the drivers in the back right there.
Yeah, definitely so. Just hard hits by a lot of those drivers. Probably ended a lot of drivers' nights with those wrecks.
His car is off.
We're about to go back green again. The same top two as before. Same story, different lap.
Green flag back out in the air. As again, Zabosian with another great restart. I don't think anyone's been better on the restarts than Connor Zabosian.
Yeah, he's been really good on the restarts.
As Morris
sure.
clears Anderson easily. As here comes Cameron Craig out on the outside. Still in 4th place even after hitting the outside wall pretty hard. As you guys still have those cold tires. Half lap is not enough to warm them up yet. You see those loose off of turn 4. A bunch of these drivers were.
Mark Morris for the lead up there.
There's we
had a wreck, 47.
That's Skylar Jones around. As flipping over. As
big flips.
A pogo stick right there up in the air. As he's gonna be done for the night, having to reset. As I think that was an Arca break late in that one.
Definitely a big Arca break there.
I think he was fine. He was fine there, and then someone just went whop, bop, bop, bam, right into him. And then another driver just decided they wanted to join in the action too. I mean, honestly, that kind of was. Second one was very unexcusable in my opinion, but
I agree with you 100%.
As I mean, he's on the brakes there, but just not enough time to slow down.
Yeah, the orange car didn't happen to see what number that was. That was he could have slowed down enough.
Ryan Sauer, I believe.
Yeah, 71. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right here the caution is out, I believe. Caution's out.
Yep, caution's out, and he's still. It appears to slow down a little bit, but.
Yeah, I feel like these Arca cars aren't the easiest to brakes on, because once you hit the brakes, you lock up. You kind of just stuck where you're going. So I mean, even if you are on the brakes, it doesn't work out all the time. But I mean, right now we're not even halfway done yet, and we have a lot of drivers with pretty bad damage on their race cars for now.
They're yellow again. Same story up front. It's going to be Sabozin and Morris, Anderson and Moldex when we go back green. Samuel Hoff back up into 6th, though.
Guys made his way through the field, avoid some of those wrecks, and back up to 6th place now. Not even halfway through this one yet, so he's pretty much all the way back up here. in time. I mean, he has plenty of time. Trust me, plenty of time to make his way back up to the top 3 in the race lead here if he can do so, if he has the speed to do so.
I feel like he has the speed since he came through that field. I mean, the wrecks did help him a little bit, but he was flying through that field there. So I expect to see him be a contender, maybe with Sebastian and Morris later on in the race. We're going to go back green here. Sebastian, Morris, Anderson, Monex, Kite, Hoff.
Green flag is back out here on lap 90. 111 laps to go here at Phoenix. As Anderson and Morris side by side once again. Morris out with the very restart. Anderson might be able to clear into turn 1 and 2. And yes, he does. Anderson finally gets up to the second place spot he's been trying to get the past 40 laps or so. And now he can try to chase down Carnes Bozen now in front.
I thought Kite was going to also pass Brock there, but did not make it. As they fan out through the dogleg once again here. Up the full speed now as here comes Daniel Molnix, our points leader. He won that Daytona earlier this season. Now he's side by side with Donnie Kite for 4th. As Kite will clear on the top side, as we mentioned before, the top side seems pretty good here tonight, pretty dominant even, I would say so. I would use that word dominant tonight here at Phoenix. Once you get to someone's outside, you can pretty much almost guarantee the move being made on them. I agree with you there. Definitely dominant is a good word to use. Blake McClung and Jacob Wilson side by side for 8th right here. As Jacob Wilson using as much dogleg as he can. And not able to clear quite just yet on the turn 1 entry. McClung on the top side uses his advantage, his momentum, and get cleared down the back straight away. And yes, he will. It's 3 wide behind us. Timothy Presley, Ruben Rodas, and Michael James right there. Actually, Skylar Linsky is a lap down, excuse me. 3 wide there for a moment. He's back out in front. Connor Zabozian, Alex Anderson. A few curlings in between each other now. As Anderson now closing the gap on Zabozian. Trying to take the fight to him here on this green flag run. Definitely things are starting to calm down now a little bit. As Alex Anderson, first time tonight in 2nd place. And he's able to hang with Carnes Bozen for now. We'll see if he can do it hang with him for the longer run of this one. They're side by side also behind here. Daniel Molnix and Donnie Kite. Molnix is really loose off the exit of turn number 2. That's going to allow him to look to the inside and take advantage of that one. Can he do so? And yes, he will, as caution flag flies once again. As Nathan Fryer around in the middle of the back straightaway, facing the wrong way. So self spin Jimmy Geikis, and Fryer gets the worst of it, honestly. Unfortunate for Nathan Fryer, just wrong place, wrong time. Jimmy Geikis just losing it on his own. And Geikis doesn't even hit the wall, really. He scrapes it. Fryer gets some pretty significant front end and rear. Oh, someone hit him even, actually.
after the fact too, for good measure. But Fryer got coming out of pit lane. He's still in the lead lap though, so if he can just stay alive for these next 100 laps, stay in the lead lap, I think he can maybe even finish in the top 15, if not better even. Those drivers still staying out here on lap 98. We're gonna go green with around 100 laps to go, and past halfway in this one.
No takers down pit road there, it looks like, so.
And no one in the top 15, I believe, coming down pit lane. Maybe a few others in the back fixing up some damage. All I can really see for now.
With these cautions, I think this fuel might stretch out a bit. And we're gonna go back green flag here. Down the long back stretch. Connor Sebastian, Alex Anderson, second for the first time. Do we see Brock Morris maybe pull what Anderson's been doing to him on these restarts?
Yeah, we'll see what he can do here. Anderson was only able to do it once after like 6 attempts, so we'll see if Morris can do it here, 1 for 1 here on Anderson. As Bozen goes early once again, and a great restart for him. Can Morris clear Anderson for move himself back up to second here, and we're on lap 100 of 200. As caution flag flies once again, and Morris is going to get ahead of Brock Anderson, Alex Anderson. So Morris, with the lucky caution flag there, made the move on Anderson. So take a quick look at what happened there. It might have been Travis Sheets slow off the turn. Oh, a big pile up before Travis Sheets just turned left. Not really.
You happen to wonder if that had to do with damage to his race car? He had some damage anyways.
Yeah, maybe just got on the gas and revved it up too much and lost some grip.
That's what it looked like, just...
He was trying to shift and it...
I think the car already had damage anyways, so... That's what made me think maybe something to do with that. Just... unfortunate, for sure.
Yeah, Nathan Johnson was caught up in that one. Same with Michael Malm. Major damage for those two drivers. And Nathan Johnson, another hard hit into the outside wall for that 19 machine.
Nathan Johnson just did not take a break with that one. Because they're back on the yellow flag. Cautions breed cautions, Alan. I feel like we've heard this before.
Yeah, we had some green flag runs here and there, but haven't been able to have some recently, really.
We are past the halfway break, though, so... or halfway point, so... We'll see Brock Morris back on the front row. Very lucky there with that caution.
Yeah, he was at the right place at the right time. Pretty much perfect for him. He's got to line up to the outside of Connor Zabozian, but Zabozian has been unbeatable on these restarts. We've only really seen like one or two drivers be able to pass him under green condition, but it takes a few more laps to catch up to him. But it's just so hard when he gets such a good launch on these initial starts to be able even to catch up to him. He's already 3-4 tenths ahead of you before you even enter turn 1 on the restarts.
And here we go, we're about to go back green. Same story up front. Connor Sabosian, Brock Morris, Alex Anderson, Donnie Kite, and Samuel Hoff is now in the top 5 and 5th.
There's green flags. Oh, they're wrecking in the back already! It's Jacob Wilson around, Timothy Presley around, and a bunch of other drivers around. As caution flag flies instantly. I believe, and yes it will. As big, I'm guessing a checkup or something happened on the start there that caused that one. Because that was absolutely massive wreck there. Timothy Presley right here. Looks like Wilson just didn't get going as much as Presley. Maybe starting the wrong gear, possibly. Take
That's what it looked like.
Look on the onboard for Jacob Wilson because he initially went and just didn't really get up going quickly. Yeah, he just slowed down big time. Not sure he was just in the wrong gear or something, or.
That's what it sounded like when we were on board. Just started in the wrong gear.
He never shifted. He just never shifted. He missed a shift.
Missed shift there. Okay. Man, that's not what you want to see there. Missed shift. Took out a good part of the field again.
I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back here for the Rabbit Hole Podcast.com 200.
And welcome back to Phoenix Speedway at night. And we're 109 of 200 laps in. Connor Sebastian and Brock Morris are going to lead us back to green once again. Alex Anderson, Donnie Kite, Daniel Molnix, and Samuel Woff. Green flag, and what a good restart again for Sebastian. He's just been on top of it all night.
Yeah, I mean, there's no really words to describe it. He's just pretty much been perfect on these restarts. We haven't had enough green flag runs recently for anyone to be able to catch up to him, as Brock Morris clears for second once again. But here comes Donnie Kite now for third. Can he finally make it up to the top 3 spot here on lap 110? Not quite, as I think Alex Anderson will clear down in turn 1. There's some lap traffic on the apron, I believe. Hitting as Kite holding on strong on the outside, trying to make something work there off of turn 2. Is he able to? No. Crossover move though, to the inside of Anderson. Will this work for Donnie Kite? Try and make himself into the top 3 spot. It's not really able to get close to him, as the top few drivers single filing out here throughout most of the field, as a lot of drivers are really damaged and destroyed. Single filing out for most of this field, as Connor Sebastian still leads, but Brock Morris is closing the gap on him. The gap is around 1 car length between these 2 drivers. Morris, we saw him, he was able to pass Sebastian earlier in this one. Sebastian got back around him later in the run. Earl Morris be able to set him up late in this run, save some tires maybe, depending on how long we can go green. Guys, we've had some pretty long green flag runs, around 20-25 laps, but we'll see if we go a little bit longer than that and see if Morris can save his stuff and maybe set up Sebastian later in the run. There's still at least one more pit stop needed to complete this race. Around lap 140 to 150 is when the last pit stop will take place. Side by side, Daniel Molnix, Donnie Kite. Molnix trying to use that inside line. Haven't seen a lot of people make that successful here tonight to make the move on the inside. We'll see if Molnix can do it here on Donnie Kite for 4th place. As they're still side by side off of turn 2, not quite clear yet. Donnie Kite still hanging tough on the outside, trying to make it work here. Molnix does make it work here. He's got clear Kite in the 1 and 2. And off of turn 2, Molnix will stay ahead, as Anderson and Morris and Sebastian now closing the gap here on top the rest of the field, as Daniel Molnix is about 8/10 back from Alex Anderson in the top 3, pulled away from the rest of the field, as Morris is still on the back bumper of Connor Sebastian. As in the meantime, we'll do a little aileron, crank it up here on lap 119.
Welcome back from our crank it up here, lap number 123. We're getting into this final about third of the race here from Phoenix as a caution field so far tonight, but we're getting a nice green flag run as Connor Sebastian about 1 car length ahead of Brock Morris and Alex Anderson. These top 3 will not leave each other. They're all staying right up to each other as fourth and fifth just laying a little bit farther back, maybe about half a second. These top 3 staying close together so far.
Yeah, these top 3 have definitely probably been the class of the field so far here tonight. Timo Hoff, what a impressive run from him. He got an E-Well penalty earlier in this one. Back up to 5th place after avoiding nearly being involved in multiple big wrecks here. But he worked his way back up to top 5 position. He's definitely one to watch out for late in this one.
Totally
He's
agree
got
with
that
you,
pace. Yeah, he's had that pace tonight all night long. Samuel Hoff qualified 2nd tonight. This ran very well and able to crawl his way back up to the top 5, just trying to work his way by Daniel Walnick, trying to stay closer to him as these two try to chase down those top 3.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, 1 pit stop still left in this one at least, maybe 2 depending on when they have to pit. But they've been on this fuel for about 47 laps. We've had a bunch of cautions though, so fuel windows around 50 to 60. So we'll see how long they can actually go on this tank of fuel.
We'll see if these guys can stretch it to about lap 140. It's probably where they gotta go. See if they were able to save 15 laps under all those cautions. But so far, Connor Sebastian able to hold the lead as these top 3 kind of just all searching for extra grip. You see a couple running the middle, a couple running the very bottom. Most of all, just kind of running the lower end of this racetrack so far. Very hard to pass here, so definitely pit strategy here will definitely play a big factor if we get to that green flag stop.
Definitely have seen that with this race ongoing. It's really hard to pass here at Phoenix as it is. So I think that's why the call out by Talon earlier that Samuel Hoff made up all the positions up to 5th. That's really hard to do passing at this racetrack. As he just moves his way to 4th.
Yes, so Samuel Hoff moves up to 4th, able to get by.
I think Molnix might have had an issue there. He fell all the way back to 6th place. Let's take a quick look at that. No, he blinked out.
Blinked out a little bit. Just unfortunate blink there.
Sometimes that happens. You lose a little bit of internet connection. Your ping goes too high, and you fall back. And that just pretty much gives Samuel Hoff free range now to the top 3. And that's...
Oh, and there's a caution back on the racetrack.
Blake McClung around.
No. Blake McClung off of turn number 2. Let's see how this one happened.
Oh my!
Oh,
whoa!
Oh, big flip!
Wow!
Big airtime.
Oh wait, he had damage before. So
that's what it looks like.
Must have. Oh, his wheel disconnected. I think his wheel disconnected. He had a mechanical issue. And
Arca brakes there.
I don't think he saw. I don't believe he saw him either. I believe that was a mechanical issue there. Let's go on the cockpit view of this one. Yep, mechanical right there. Completely nothing either driver could do. I don't think Thomas Spencer could see the stopped Blake McClung there.
Yeah, just unfortunate timing there, and just the
This
wheel
is on
just
board.
disconnects. You'll see the reel right when it disconnects. You'll just shoot
Right there, yeah.
And there it is.
And Thomas Spencer comes flying in here. He doesn't even see him. Well, too late. He's not expecting a car stop just in the middle of the racetrack.
And that's what happened. Just unfortunate for Blake McClung running up in the
Top
about
10
mid pack.
spot.
Yeah, top 10. It was a really good run for that 10 machine, and unfortunate the wheel just disconnects. But everyone's meanwhile off of pit road. Connor Sebastian first off. But
Michael James taking
staying
2,
out.
maybe? I think he's staying out, excuse me, yeah. But his last pit stop was only a 7-second pit stop, so I think he only took fuel only because I don't think 7 seconds is enough for right side tires. So he's got to have really, really old tires. As Brock Morris, I think he might have lost connection to the server, maybe. as he's not on the screen, the timing screen now. And that was one of the big contenders here tonight.
That's a very tough break there if he lost connection. Very, very good run all night.
I believe he has. But it will be delayed caution here. One more lap added.
So I have to see where Michael James can do here on this restart, staying out on those older tires.
Yeah, interesting strategy call. I mean, he does have some pretty good damage. He's been involved in a few incidents also tonight. And with about a 70, a little under 70 laps to go, this one is a really risky move in my opinion. I mean, there's not a lot of benefit of doing this here. I mean, maybe he can see the vision that I can't, but I just don't know if this is the correct call for the 23 machine.
It's definitely not a terrible call, I would say. I mean, if he can just hold enough, long enough, maybe get enough cautions to where everyone's got to pit anyways. Maybe he sees it, maybe he can get into that fuel window and then come down and take tires with everybody else, because everyone else would have to pit for fuel. So we'll see what Michael can do, Michael James can do up front, but we'll see how well he can hold off on these older tires.
Yeah, I mean, that's
definitely a gamble, for sure.
Definitely a big gamble. He last pitted 35 laps to go, so around lap 98. That's a long time ago. We had a pretty long green flag run after that one, too.
Well, it's going to be Michael James and Connor Zabuzny in there. Whoa.
Getting them all next thing back in line there.
Gotcha.
So here we go, into the Geico Restart Zone. We're back underway. So Michael James gets under the power pretty good. No, not a lot of wheel spin, but here it comes to the inside. Alex Anderson going to try to take it 3 wide. Barely down to the inside into 1.
You're going to split him.
Connor Samosian way around the outside, going to be able to power around and easily get that clear.
Contact.
But Anderson getting pinned down on the bottom. There's still going to be 3 wide. Anderson's going to have to try and fight through, but here comes Samuel Hoff on the outside. He moves up to 2nd.
Samuel Hoff from the EOL earlier tonight, now up to 2nd.
Anderson gets 2nd back as Hoff having issues. He got loose off of turn number 4. Those are the cool tires we've seen earlier before. He's already back down to 5th place, maybe even 6th place here shortly.
Yes, Hoff holding the outside of Ruben Rodas right now. Down into the dog leg. Hoff stays up on the racetrack to try and get that run going into turn 1. It's Daniel Molly, sorry, not Ruben Rodas, but off the outside. Around the outside, Hoff able to get the nose clear. We'll see if he can get the run off of 4. But now they got that 2 machine. Donnie Kite right there in 3rd. Right in front of Daniel Molly. He's kind of holding him up a little bit as both of them try to find their way by. Molnick's down to the bottom, side by side for that 3rd place position. Molnick's going to be able to clear off of turn 2. Hoff's going to try to follow through on the bottom. Not going to do it, but they still stay side by side for 4th as they go into 3.
Still side by side here. As Kite up top, we've seen the outside lane pretty good here tonight, but it looks like Hoff will clear on the bottom there for 4th place.
Hoff able to get his way through. Connor Samosian able to get a great restart and able to pull away by half a second. Anderson trying to close that gap back down. Still a long way to go. Tires will definitely be a big factor here. They're still going to have to make a pit stop if they go green in the end. So we'll see how this pit strategy plays out. If they get to 30 to go, does someone risk pitting and trying to split it in half, or does someone risk staying out as long as possible and maybe get a late race caution and trap a lot of guys a lap down if they can? We'll see. This strategy could be interesting if we stay green for a while here.
Yeah, definitely could. I could see it go both ways, honestly. We've had cautions later in the runs, so maybe you just don't trust your fellow drivers to keep it clean. And I mean, that's a strategy you have to think about. You know, how the other drivers gonna be handling the race car and handling the track conditions once the tires do start to wear out after 50 laps.
These tire wear will definitely be a big factor now. Not really sure how it builds in the Arca car, in this legacy Arca car, but I know in the next gen it tends to build pretty loose on the right rear. And Xfinity car probably be closer to this Arca car, I would say, in handling wise at most racetracks here on the sim. So probably be building towards a tight race car. This right front's definitely going to be important to save, but now here comes Ruben Rodas looking to the inside of Donnie Kite for that 5th place spot. Rodas going to try and clear up on Donnie Kite, but not going to be able to do it side by side still. They go down in the turn number 3. Rodas is going to be able to clear into 3, but Senior going to try and find his way to the inside of Kite, but not going to be able to do it. Kite holds the outside, able to still hold on to P6.
Yeah, as most of the field pretty spread out. Only 17 cars of the 36 are on the lead lap for now. Only around 23 or so still running of the 35. Some of them multiple laps down.
But Anderson slowly closing that gap in on Connor Samosin. He's got that lead down to about 2 to 3/10 of a second. Trying to slowly bring the gap in. Trying to save a little bit of tires as well. Maybe we'll see if Samosin just better at saving tires here. Maybe just backing off early.
Right now, side by side, Craig Martin, Nathan Fryers for the top 10 spot. Craig Martin clears Nathan Fryers. Fryer gets the outside wall off turn 4.
Fryer holds on to 11th place position right there. So everyone's kind of spread out a little bit as we're getting getting some good long runs in now. A decent run last time, had a caution about maybe 20 laps ago at this point, down to 53 to go. Maybe start to see some pit stops, some pit strategy take place in about 20 laps or so. You start with about 65 to go, so halfway would be about 35 to go-ish, around 30 to 35 to go. They can't go more than 60 this year. Hard saving, which it's definitely going to be a stretch if they want to do that. Donnie Guy trying to hold on to 60 at a time. Senior trying to chase him down and work on him these past few laps.
And we'll see if he can do it. Like you mentioned, it's been, like I mentioned before, it's been really tough as actually Alex Anderson really closing the gap now on Connor Zabosin. Within a 10th there, right on the back bumper of that 45 machine.
He's closing that gap in. He's been working on him lap after lap after lap, and he's closing it in. A bit of 50 to go here, getting this final quarter of this race. And Anderson's working on that 45 machine, trying to find his way by. He's going to go to the dog leg here, going to try and pull side by side going into the one.
Go side by side for the race lead here. Anderson on the bottom, Zabosian up top.
Anderson lost the rear there off at turn number 2, just kind of tracked out a little bit. Just going to lose a little bit of time. He's going to have to try and regather that time back, but he seems really good through 3 and 4. Drives really deep into 4, going to get a little bit loose. Going to dirt track off the turn 4 there. He's going to be able to hold on to it, but he seems to be getting a little bit loose, maybe getting a little bit of an oversteer, like kind of snapping oversteer up the corner. So far, able to hold on. He's still staying right within a 2-3 car lengths of Zabosian.
Yeah, he's right there. You know, Zabosian makes a little mistake, clips the outside wall maybe just a little bit. Alex Anderson's right there to pounce, and lap traffic up ahead. Gotta get out of the way there.
So far, Zabosian able to hold on to this battle. As we're coming down to this final bit of this race, final bits of these runs, we'll see if anyone tries to maybe play a bit early strategy. We could see it happen.
Yeah, definitely could. You could see him pit here in the next, probably around 10 laps or so. I wouldn't go any earlier than that, you know. So at that point, you're going 45 plus laps on fuel on tires. It's quite a bit of time on those tires.
Yeah, but also don't be surprised if someone tries to stay out and maybe try to stretch it as long as they can. Maybe try and
hope for a caution.
Hope for a caution and get themselves out front. I mean, you can see some of these guys, maybe like JJ Venezio, Michael James still in the old tires, stayed out early. Nathan Johnson running around 15th. They could try to stay out, maybe catch a caution. Even if it doesn't work out necessarily for them to get the race win, they could finish up in the top 5 when they were running 15th and have a big net gain. So you see any of these drivers around outside that top 10 really tried something strategic there and try to stay out as long as they can.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good strategy call for some of those drivers as we go back to the field. Hunter Sr. and Donnie Kite close together, 6th and 7th.
Senior trying to close that gap in on Donnie Kite. He's been working on in the past few laps, just not able to get enough of a run, get close enough to make a move down to the bottom. .44 to go. Could see some green flag stops. Didn't think we would really see those tonight. Connor Zabosian still holding the lead over Alex Anderson. We could see one of those two drivers try to play undercut strategy on each other, as those two really are the closest on the racetrack with Donnie Kite and Hunter Sr.
You also have Nathan Johnson, Michael James, JJ Venezia in this kind of little pack right here. Pretty much the damaged race cars right here in 13th, 14th, 15th. You know, just hoping to make it back home with the engine bill not too high there, but anyways, still doing a good job so far. Gained some good solid points here tonight, even for how damaged they are.
Yeah, I mean, the way this race has been, just surviving the night is going to get you good solid points tonight. And that top 15, there's only 16 cars on the lead lap tonight. So if you just stay clean all night long, you're able to put yourself up in that top, you pretty much guarantee the top 15 spot. It's been a great run for a lot of these drivers, especially some of the drivers who've been not used to running in that top 15, top 10, kind of running outside that top 20, able to survive tonight, able to get a solid run tonight in that top 15, maybe top 10, 15. Having a really clean night.
Yeah.
40 to go. We're getting the pit stops area soon. See if anyone comes down.
I think if you just stay on the lead lap. That'll be some good, really solid points here tonight, even if you are kind of destroyed.
As these top two staying close together, you could see some strategy play out. As Anderson, he was into the inside of Sebastian not too long ago. But an interesting note here, first pit stop, Michael James, he stayed down on that restart. He fell back all the way back to 14th, 15th, really far off the back. So we'll see if he can gain 17 seconds, but he might be able to play something undercut there. It's just over the halfway point, just under the halfway point of this run. Supposedly able to maintain that gap to Alex Anderson. Donnie Kite still actually gained on Hunter Sr. Was that battle for 6th a few laps ago? Did go green on lap number 134. So went green with 66 to go. So that means that we're getting to that halfway point of this run within 3-4 laps. So we'll see if anyone stretches it, splits it in exact halves.
See if anyone comes on pit lane these next few times, like you said.
Well, here comes one down pit road. I believe that's Daniel Molnix. Daniel Molnix pits from that top 5 spot. He was not too far back. He was only 2 seconds back. This could be a big gain for Daniel Molnix if Connor Simoes and Alex Anderson just try to stay out. But Daniel Molnix, can he pull a gap here? See, but here comes our race leaders, Connor Simoes and Alex Anderson, down pit road.
My stop.
This is the big stop. This is important. All of them trying to get down pit road. Just stay 4 tires. We got another driver coming out pit road. I believe it's Jared Skinner. Jared Skinner was a lap down, so as you're starting to see more and more trickle down pit road exactly halfway through this run, the question is, where will some of these drivers come out at? Alex Anderson able to get a good stop.
Sebastian takes 2 tires only.
2-tire stop for Sebastian. That could be. We'll see if Anderson can close in on 4 tires. That could be game changer. Also see where Daniel Molnix comes out compared to Alex Anderson. As Alex Anderson was able to still come out in front of Daniel Molnix, but with 33 to go, Samuel Hoff holds the lead. He's yet to come down pit road. Connor Simoes will be our net leader when everyone else pits.
The gap's 3 seconds about between those 2 drivers, and like you mentioned, Sebastian has right side tires only. Anderson has 4 fresh tires. And with 32 to go, I think that's going to be a pretty big difference here. I don't know if that was the right call for Sebastian.
Maybe he knew, he was holding that position over Anderson. Or just maybe he thought Anderson would be a little bit better anyways, and just knew he thought he had to try something different. But right now, Connor Sebastian entering 3, Anderson just entering 3 now, so just only a few seconds back, and Anderson on the 4 tires. You just gotta hope, Sebastian just has to hope the 2 tires hold on enough and even out. But right now, Anderson about 2/10 faster than Connor Sabosian. But Sammy Hoff, Donnie Kite, Hunter Sr., they're just outside that top 5. They're trying to stay out and maybe try and catch a caution. As Connor Sabosian just gets by Donnie Kite, trying to close that gap down to Samuel Hoff here, and trying to get by Samuel Hoff and get that race lead. Well, get the lead lap, but get that lap back. So he will be the race leader when these drivers pit, assuming Anderson doesn't get there first. But Anderson, not much faster. About maybe only 2/10, so it's not a big difference, as big as a difference as I would think between 2 tires and 4 tires. But Anderson, he's gonna have the advantage. He just needs to be patient here with 28 to go.
Yeah, plenty of
He's got
time.
a while. Just to be patient, not push yourself, not put yourself in a dangerous spot. He's gonna work his way through the traffic. Don't want to get held up too much here, but right now, battle for the current race lead between Donnie Kite and Samuel Hoff. As now Alex Anderson moves to the bottom, trying to unlap himself, and trying to close that gap down to Connor Sabosian. He's just being patient. What he needs to do, just slowly get by these guys. He's got that advantage on Connor Sabosian. The tires will start to come to into his hands. And that gap will start to close down in his favor. But now, side by side, Samuel Hoff, Donnie Kite, side by side for the lead, coming to 26 to go. We'll see if these guys, how far they can stretch it. Mathematically, the farthest fuel window of 60 laps. They can go to about 6 to go at the longest. So we'll see if they can really stretch it that far. We'll see, maybe they can stretch it all the way to the end, but that's going to be a big ask. Don't think they will be able to do it, but Donnie Kite was able to get by. Donnie Kite takes the lead for now, but Alex Anderson closing that gap in on Connor Sabosian. The gap's about 2 seconds now. Maybe actually about 1.5 seconds, as Anderson able to about 3 or 4 tenths faster than Connor Sabosian. That will be the battle for the race win. As Daniel Maldix is right there as well on 4 tires. It was a lap away, so I mean, he has something.
Yeah, these two start to fight each other pretty hard. He's about 3.5 seconds back, which is a pretty big gap to try and gain here at Phoenix.
Oh, but Timothy Presley down on the apron, spinning on the apron on the front straightaway in the dog leg. I saw him behind Anderson, so I thought it was Malnix there, but Malnix is a bit farther back.
As Hunter Sr.
But Timothy Presley able to stay off the track, no caution.
Hunter Sr. has a black flag, most likely speeding on pit lane. He just came down pit lane. Still have to serve that in the next 3 laps or so. He's running pretty good. He was running in the top 7 position, I believe, maybe even top 5, depending on how this cycled out.
You'll have to see, but so far, Donnie Kite, Samuel Hoff staying out of the racetrack. See how much longer they can go, how long they will stretch it, trying to stretch it and get this caution. But Alex Anderson closing that gap on Connor Sabosian. Sabosian still holding fun right now, but he's got to hope these tires even out. But Alex Anderson just has plenty of time. Even if they did even out, they're not going to even out quick enough. As Anderson trying to close the gap in. He's right there on Connor Sabosian. Now this is the battle for the race win, most likely. Going down to 1 and 2. Got a couple lap cars to get by. Actually, this is for a position. Actually, this is Cameron Craighead. Cameron Craighead staying out, so they get by Cameron Craighead. But here comes Alex Anderson, looking to the bottom of Connor Sabosian, trying to make that move work. They got JJ Benitez to work by. Sabosian gets held up off the exit. Anderson gonna dive it all the way to the bottom, all the way to the dogleg, and have to try and send in the deep here into 1. Can he clear? Sabosian stays the outside, but side by side through the corner.
Side by side, can Sabosian stay up top? He's still to his outside. How deep will Anderson send it into 3 and 4 now? Looks like he won't send it too deep as he knows he has a better tires. As up the racetrack. Oh, we made contact. Lower door contact off of turn 4. I think Anderson is going to clear down on turn 1.
He's going to be able to get the nose there, but can Sabosian hold the right rear? It just looks a little tight. Can he try
almost
to
in the
get
wall.
the cut down under the corner? Could try to pull the crossover. Maybe he has an opportunity to stay side by side. Maybe if he sends it deep into 3. But right now, I think it's all Alex Anderson. A 4-tire strategy call compared to the 2. Just not working out for Connor Sabosian like he'd hoped. He's not that much slower, but he's hanging right there. But he just doesn't have the tire enough to fight. But he's gonna still dive it into turn 1. Gonna stay side by side, but just not enough. Is Alex Anderson on the outside, on the inside, on the outside gonna be able to clear. As Samuel Hoff down pit road from second, Donnie Kite as well. So now that battle for the lead, battle for the race win between Alex Anderson and Connor Sabosian. Sabosian on the 2 tires, trying to fight as hard as he can. Might just be hoping for a caution at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's going to be a little too late. I mean, 18 laps. They'll have about 16 lap pressure tires, though. So, I mean, they can maybe do something. Looks like Kite going to take 2. And looks like Samuel Hoff way down
Already
back
on the
there,
racetrack.
down in 10th place. We'll see how much time he can make up here. As Kite takes 2, he's already up to 6th. As Ruben Rodas up to 4th now, as Cameron Craig still has yet to pit. As actually, as soon as I say that, he's down pit lane.
Okay, Cameron Craig down pit road. Just trying to play as long as he could, try to hope for a caution, but been green for a long while here, easy of longest run of the night. Connor Sabosian staying close, not really falling off big time as the tires are starting to even out, but he just doesn't have the advantage over Alex Anderson. But he's just starting to fall back as Anderson's just slowly able to inch further and further away. With 15 to go, Anderson just needs to stay mistake-free. He should be able to walk into victory lane. I'm going to park that car in victory lane tonight.
Got 15 to go. Still, lock can still happen, though. We have seen late in these races that caution plays out. Because a green-white checkered, but still a long ways to go in this one.
And now Alex Anderson having to get by some lap traffic there of Hunter Sr. As Connor Sabosian even struggling more with the lap traffic as he lost more time trying to getting by another lap car.
Because the gap's pretty much just growing right now. I go back to that mistake. I mean, really, it was... Zabosian dominated this race pretty much from start to finish. He's led pretty much every lap so far tonight before those pit stops. And I mean, I know what he was trying to do. I'm guessing he thought Anderson was going to take 2 tires only. But in the end, with 30 laps to go, I think that was just too risky of a move to make. I mean, it was like 10 laps ago, so it would have worked out well. With 30 laps to go, I think that's just too many laps to make a gamble like that and take 2 tires only.
Yeah, it definitely was a big risk strategy call there, but it's honestly worked better than I thought it would. I thought he'd fall back a lot quicker and a lot faster, but he's able to stay pretty close for a decent bit after Anderson was able to get by and able to stay out in front. But Alex Anderson able to hold on, able to play the better strategy. Now 10 to go, just hoping there isn't a caution.
I'm trying to just log these laps and one by one clip click them off. As it's around 5 minutes or so.
As this race is coming down to an end pretty quickly. The first half took a while, but the second half goes really quickly as we've had a lot of green flag runs late. But Alex Anderson stayed up front pretty much all night long, able to put himself in the better strategy. He's able to hold off by about half a second over Carlos Sebosian. Sebosian still not going away. If Anderson makes a huge mistake, Sebosian can pounce on him, but Anderson just needs to stay mistake-free with 8 to go. He's almost there. His lap's definitely feeling for Anderson just even longer and longer. But he's trying to hold on, trying to get there.
Each lap just going by. It's very slow, I bet, for Alex Anderson right now. Trying to pick up another win in the SuperStar Arca Cup Series. This would be his 4th win of his career here. It would be his first ever non-intermediate win. All the other tracks they won at were intermediate racetrack, 1.5 mile racetrack, quote unquote cookie cutter racetracks.
And he's trying to get it done. He's trying to get to 5 to go this time by. And Anderson, he came up short, had a few unlucky races last season. Now this season will be a little bit different with the chase format in the points, but Anderson trying to get this win. Trying to build a championship run. Get that championship he won in last season. But it's definitely going to be a lot different after tonight because he's trying to win the final race of this Legacy Arca car. He's going to have to learn a whole new style just like everybody else, and that's definitely going to be a fun thing to see going into next week at Pocono. But Alex Anderson just trying to get the final win in this body here at the short track at Phoenix. Just every lap feeling longer and longer. He played the right strategy. Just trying to get there. Coming to 3 to go. Just praying there's no caution. Almost there for Anderson. 3 to go. 3 miles left. Sebosian staying close, trying all he can. He's using the dog leg, everything he can, sending it in every corner, but just the 2 tires, not enough for Sebosian. Anderson just able to cruise on ahead and still able to just eke out just a couple hundreds here and there. He's got a little bit of lap traffic to deal with, but not going to be a big factor. But 2 to go for Anderson. Just needs to make it back around one more time to get the white flag.
Anderson, he played the strategy well, took the 4 tires when he needed to, and he was right there. Like I said, all he needed was Sebosian to make a mistake. Thing is, Sebosian didn't make a mistake on the racetrack. He made it in the pit lane. Took only 2 right side tires instead of 4. And that's going to allow Alex Anderson to take the white flag and possibly, if he can survive this next mile, win this race here tonight.
Yeah, 1 lap to go. Anderson dominant performance tonight. He was up there up front, and not fully dominant with the race lead, but he was able to stay up front in that top 5. Had a great run. Played the 4 tire strategy call. Sebosian played 2. Just played the better strategy on pit road. Off of turn 4, Alex Anderson. He's gonna win at Phoenix.
And Malcolm Frith heating up. Samuel Hoff right in the back bumper. Ruben Rodas gonna look for a top 5 spot side by side the line. It's gonna be Rodas staying up in top 5 spot for him. Great finishing position for Ruben Rodas here tonight.
And a great finish for Ruben Otis, able to get that top 5, but Alex Anderson able to pick up the win at Phoenix in the final race of the Legacy Arca car. And he's going to burn it down one final time in this car. He's going to park it in victory lane. Actually, Alex Anderson. A great finish. Able to get the win. And a great run tonight. Gonna get a solid point slant as well. He's burning it down here on the front stretch. Gonna loop it back around and take it to victory lane. Phoenix, one of the very few tracks you can park in a victory lane. He's gonna take advantage of it. Gonna bring it all the way down pit road. Take the right turn into pit road here and put it in victory lane. Alex Anderson, a great drive. Park it in victory lane. We're going to take a quick break here from Phoenix. We'll be right back with our top 3 interviews.
Live, the leaders, Johnson and Holt. Holt will start the top of the line. Across the line, it's going to be Holt by 0.006 of a second. We are underway. The SuperStar Cup here at Phoenix for 200 laps. 6th machine around off turn 2. Huge wreck there. Samosian drives it in on the new tire. Off of turn 4. Connor Samosian, the new tire fall. The 4-tire fall. 1 tire across the line. Connor Samosian steals away their chances.
Welcome back here to the Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona, as we just wrapped up the Rabbit Hole Podcast.com 200 here from Phoenix. Before we get to our top 3 interviews, let's take a quick look at our results for tonight's race. As Alex Anderson able to pick up the win over Connor Sarosian. Daniel Warnock's able to round out P3, Donnie Kite 4th, Ruben Otis rounds out the top 5, Samuel Hoff 6th, Craig Martin 7th, Kai Herlitzky finishing 8th, Isaiah Walters finishing 9th, Nate Fry rounding our top 10. Finishing 11th tonight will be the 23 Michael James, James Venezia finishing 12th, Cameron Craighead 13th, Nathan Johnson 14th, John Peterson 15th, Hunter Sr. 16th, Jared Skinner 17th, Skylar Jones 18th, Travis Sheet 19th, Timothy Presley rounds out our top 20. Brian Marshall able to pick up 21st tonight, Jacob Wilson 22nd, Brock Morris 23rd, Thomas Spencer 24th, 25th, Vic McClung, Jimmy Geikers 26th, Michael Malm 27th, Jake Ballman 28th, Ryan Sauer 29th, Travis Beaver 30th, rounding out our top 30. 31st tonight was the 03 of Cliff Adams, Dylan Lamp 32nd, Mark Cofield 33rd, Cage Donahue 34th, Jeremiah Holt 35th, and Jordan Evans rounding out our 36 car field tonight. But out front tonight, it was the 67 machine of Alex Anderson able to get the win. 4 tires versus the 2 with Sabosian. He was able to slowly gain that gap, close that gap back in, able to get by in front. Just how were you able to get that move done late, and how tough was it really out there the past tonight?
Yeah, it was pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was just 'cause, like, I mean, the bottom wouldn't work on either corner, and people were defending the top really well, but I don't know, the strategy was pretty fun there. I'm glad we actually got green flag stops at the end. I was actually talking to Connor. He said that he had checked, 2 tires off to pit at lap 185, saw Daniel go in, and had to pit after Daniel didn't. I just followed him into the pits, and I guess he never rechecked the left side. So caught him, got around him, and just hung out for a couple laps and got the win.
Now you're able to play that perfectly, and able to get the win. But how tough was that out there tonight with the tire wearing it? Just how did it handle on those old tires?
Honestly, on the old tires, it really wasn't too terrible. It was just kind of free in general. It was just pretty solid. Wasn't tight. Wasn't loose. When I caught Connor before the pit cycles, I guess I'd probably angered the rears, so they started to go out on me a little bit, which is why I'm happy I pitted when I did. So the tire wear was a fun aspect of it. I'm glad we got at least one run in where we could use it. Overall, just really fun race, and yeah, looking forward to next week, Pocono.
Yeah, definitely be trying to bring that momentum going into the next race at Pocono and going into the new body of cars. So you're able to send it off this car with a win. But before we send it off on your way, any sponsors I think for tonight's race win?
First off, gotta thank my parents, biggest sponsors on the team. Uh, Provided me my entire rig, pretty much all the stuff I have, so gotta thank them. Thanks to Sam for putting the league on. I have fun racing in here every Wednesday, except last week because I died. But other than that, thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thanks to everybody at Revved Up Racing, Brock, Daniel, Jacob, all those guys for giving me this car. And yeah, I think that's it.
And once again, congrats on your race win. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Pocono.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good one.
As Alex Anderson, our race winner, will bring in our second place finisher of Connor Sabosian. Now, Alex was able to kind of fill in what happened there during that green flag stop. And you're able to take 2 tires there. You took 2 tires there on accident, but you're still able to hold on pretty well. Only finished half a second back. And just how well were those 2 tires handled compared to the 4? And you're able to hold on pretty well there. And just how those 2 tires handled there late.
Yeah, most of the race I was kind of never really pushed to what I felt was my full pace, just saving tires, saving just a little bit of fuel. Once I hit lap 100, I had 40 left in the tank and fuel run was 60 laps. So I figured from then I could stop saving fuel, and I mean I still kind of just saved tires most of that run, but that last run it was a nightmare. I was planning on staying out until maybe 185, taking a splash and go, and then getting on with it. But as soon as Daniel pit, I knew I had to pit because those tires would definitely be a huge advantage. I Yeah, like I said, I planned on taking 2 tires and never really got the memo to switch over to 4. I'm still pretty new to this NASCAR stuff, so not quite there on the strategy calls, but we're getting close.
Yeah, you're able to still hold very well with those two tires, and just how hard was it really to pass and defend tonight, and just how that offense versus defense? I mean, you stayed up front pretty much all night long, but when you had to make the moves, you're able to get them done, and just able to how tough was out there to pass tonight as long as defend.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to play defense here at Phoenix. I guess earlier in the race when I got all my passing done, it was kind of everyone was taking it easy and just let everyone else go pretty easy. Like I know I had a pass there on Brock that I think he just let me go. And I mean, when he got around me originally, I ran him hard for a lap or two to see what I could do on the bottom, and then ended up just letting him go, just laying back. And then I knew it was pretty easy to defend my teammate Sam from the outside. Just just holding that outside just made it so easy to defend on the long run.
And you're still able to hold on to second, and before starting off on the way in short of the link for tonight's second place run.
Yeah, I gotta thank Juicy Spider Racing, NJB Designs, McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Moran Chevrolet, The Pleasure Zone, PPG, Painter Supply and Equipment, Michigan Independent Door Company, um, Dynamite Machining. What else? I think that's it. I gotta thank you guys for putting on a great broadcast every week. All the people that are watching tonight. The Phoenix race seems to be pretty popular on the broadcast. And then everyone for a great race out on the track tonight.
And once again, congrats on your second place run. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Pocono.
Thank you.
So that was our second place finisher of Connor Savosa. We'll bring in our third place finisher of Daniel Molnix, able to pick up the final spot of the podium tonight, able to have a really solid run. Just talk us through your night and how do you think tonight went for you?
Uh, I mean, finishing position wise, it was, a good night. I didn't quite have the pace as Connor and Alex had, up there, but I mean, I drove my way up from 10th where I originally, started. But yeah, once I got to that third, fourth position, it was just kind of, I had to keep overdriving my stuff just to kind of keep up. And, I just, like I say, didn't have the pace that they had. But, and then my last ditch effort was to short pit both of those guys and hope that, I could get out front and maybe aero block or whatever, but just didn't happen. I think Connor took two and Alex came out like 4 seconds ahead of me after the stop. So I don't know if I just, driving Miss Daisy trying to get on pit road, not speeding or anything like that. But yeah, definitely, I guess gave up some time there. But yeah, all in all, good night. I mean, I can't complain with third.
Yeah, you're still able to pick up a third place finish tonight and a very solid run in this final race of this old body. So going into Pocono in 2 weeks' time, just how are you able to transition that new Arca style, and what's your game plan going, learning that new body as a style?
I tried it out last week at Homestead, and to me, the car feels a little bit more racy than this body. Um, I'm not sure if it's more aero dependent, less aero dependent. I haven't taken the time to really feel it all out yet, but I it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for everybody because I mean the steering offset range is huge. Um, so you could adjust that a lot, you know. But I think it'll be a fun transition. Like say, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a few incidents here and there. Everybody's still trying to figure the car out, but once we get it all under us, we'll keep on putting on good races for you.
Yeah, and definitely be fun to watch everyone kind of learn that new car and put on some great racing throughout the rest of the season. But before we send you off on the way, any thoughts for tonight's third place run?
I want to thank you guys over at LRN for putting this on. Everybody revved up and Rectum Racing. We put the time in, obviously. I mean, we took two of the top three. Brock, unfortunately, he got a packet loss and, you know, got booted out. But I think, honestly, I believe he had a better car than Alex. But you know, who's to say? But yeah, that's really about all I got for you.
Yeah, once again, congrats on your third place finish tonight. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Pocono.
All right, thank you.
So as our third place finisher of Daniel Molnick's able to pick up a solid third place run in the final race of this old body Arca car. So overall, definitely a fun race tonight. We kind of saw that final half of the race go very green and spread out, and definitely tire wear was definitely a big factor, and it was definitely fun to watch tonight. But going into next week at Pocono, next race at Pocono, definitely going to be a big learning curve for a lot of these drivers. I'm excited to see how everyone's going to be able to use it to their advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be probably the biggest change that this league has seen on the racetrack easily by far. There's nothing different car. It can drive, I mean, pretty much completely different. I've never driven it yet, but what I've seen, it's completely different than this old gen of the Arca.
Yeah, definitely we'll see if it's more drafty, more racy, and definitely Pocono is definitely going to be a great track to be its first race on. So that'll definitely be fun to see in 2 weeks' time. But before we get there, we do as also 2 weeks' time, so we do have an off week, so they have a little bit to learn, a little bit more every driver. But before we get there, we got a couple other races coming up here on the Legends Racing Network. Before we get there, but this Saturday night we'll have the Bullet Racing League Grand National Series. They'll be on the Homestead at Miami Speedway at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for chase race number 1. Saturday night we'll have the Q1 finale from Bristol at 9 o'clock Eastern Time for the Stampede Racing League Juicy Spider Premium Series. Monday night we'll have the first road course of the season at 9 o'clock Eastern Time for 5 Points Racing League Turnkey Network Solution Series. And on Tuesday, we'll have the Volt Racing League Tuesday Night Thunder at Auto Club, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then a week break after that, we'll have some other the league races are Saturday and Sunday night at leagues as well. But we'll have the SuperStar Cup back at Pocono in 2 weeks' time on April 2nd at Pocono for the new Spotty Style at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time in 2 weeks' time. So that will definitely be fun to watch for them. So definitely a fun night to watch here tonight. But I'm Aaron Brown, was joined alongside my co-commentators tonight of AJ Hudson, left us a little bit earlier tonight, and Talon Drake as well, and also our producer of Talon Drake is able to join in late tonight. It's definitely the guys did a great job in that first half and able to come in and help you guys out in the second half of the run. But thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network. So long for Phoenix.